Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The Book Club. That's right, we're back to finish up Elantris.
Hell yeah.
The first published book by novelist and noted Utah Jazz fan, Brandon Sandy.
Oh, he likes jazz.
No, it's a basketball team. He probably does like jazz. I have a feeling that Brandon Sanderson has strong opinions about jazz. And you know what? I also feel like Brandon Sanderson is probably uncomfortable by the Star Wars jazz that is jizz. But that's me making a judgment. And you know what?
How dare you?
I shouldn't judge.
Yeah.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for starting us off with that super chat. Let's go. Thank you for being here, everybody. Good morning.
Y'all, it's a special book club today.
James Ross, I love some hot steamy jizz. Just I want a jizz whaler in the morning.
You know, I wonder if George knew what he was doing.
I really don't think that that was a term then.
You don't think so?
I don't think jizz was a term in 1977. No.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know either.
Wasn't alive.
I don't believe it was. I could be wrong though. Someone's gonna be like, actually, Anne Rice invented jizz in her novel in 1864.
Yes. Anne Rice.
When was Anne Rice a novelist? I don't know.
God damn. Oh,
I don't know.
I love that for us.
Could someone in the chat please Google the etymology of the word jizz, both in Star Wars and out?
Yeah, but like also, you know, you don't have to if your browser history isn't private. You know?
It really sounded like you said your browser history, which is so funny. Hey, when I die, I don't need you to delete my browser history. I need you to delete my browser history.
Yeah. I don't care about anything else, but that one, that's going to be a no for me.
Wait, browser and browser being so close together? I've never noticed that before, but it is so funny.
Me neither. They also knew what they were doing.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Elantris Part 2 to the end. We have a little bit of a Part 2, then a Part 3, then an epilogue, and a postscript to talk about. Clarus.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, what do we have to get into first?
Today we're celebrating 60K subs on YouTube.
Oh, right. Yeah. Guys, thank you for 60,000 subscribers. What a fucking milestone.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was like, book club's gonna be a special one tomorrow. Cause you know, it's been a year. It's been a crazy year. And we still hit 60K, and that's truly incredible. So thank you.
Well, and there was definitely a time, like coming out of what kind of was the like, our channel hit like a kind of wall at the end of Attack on Titan and how that went, and then the writers actor strike hit, and it definitely felt like there was this moment of like, do we need to pivot? Like, do we need to completely, do we need to find something
content.
new?
Yeah.
And the fact that people have stuck around and that like post strike, it feels like things have like kind of gotten back to normal. And I feel like we're in a better spot than we ever were, which is amazing. And so thank you to everyone who's helped us be there.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who stuck with book club through all of it, through the end of the Wheel of Time and
through the
some
middle
of those
of the Wheel of Time.
4-hour rants that I went on. It's been an incredible growing opportunity to, you know, be so publicly forward with our thoughts and have some pushback on some of those thoughts and also be embraced for some of those thoughts and to kind of feel the wide array of that experience with you all has been what's so special about this, right? Like, I think that it would be fine to do this in a vacuum where we just post our thoughts and then like take the Google check on the 20th of every month and not ever think about it. But what I actually love about our channel and about book club and about the reactions is the like ongoing conversation that we're having in the Patreon and in the YouTube comments about like our growth as media consumers and as critics and the growth of our community and finding new people who are just bringing new and more varied perspectives to it. I think it's a beautiful thing. And, you know, I'm always reminded at these milestones that like there's that the Pengrowth Saddle Dome in Calgary, I think holds 19,000 people. And so I could fill the childhood hockey arena that I thought was the biggest building on the planet when I was watching the Flames growing up. I could fill that 3 times with the subscribers of our channel. Is is unbelievably cool, right?
Yeah.
Like that to me is
It's
just
very
a
special.
wild thing to be true. And
Yeah.
so I'm just very grateful.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Linus, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table. Here we go. I was promised a snooty scholar reading an essay on Cell today. Can't wait for the rest of the Cosmere.
No, the essay's next week.
The essay... Oh,
Emperor's
okay.
Soul and the essay are next week, Linus.
Yes.
Yeah, this week is the end of Elantris.
Yes. We have to finish this book before we can move on.
Carnetiology, thank you for being a member for 27
Kenny, thank
months.
you so
That's basically the
much.
beginning of book club right there.
Yeah, seriously.
Here for most of it. Congrats. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Genuinely so appreciative.
Arazu, thank you for that super chat. Discord has the idea that if chat can fund it at the end of the episode, Nerdy should read all of the Cell essay from Arcanum Unbounded in a funny scholar accent. What do you say, Nerdy? Are you in? 420 years ago.
It's an essay, right? Like, I feel like I can't get copyright stricken for reading an essay.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it. But before we get
This
into
is why
that,
I love Discord chat.
you guys are a nuisance.
Unhinged, and I love you for it.
Wait, what is the fund?
Yeah, wait, what's the fund and how long is it?
Wait, how long is the essay?
It's actually 120 pages. I actually don't know.
I'm
10?
sitting here till you leave. I'm here till midnight, like.
Yeah.
And then another word I can't pronounce, and then another word I can't pronounce.
Is it just gonna be that?
Aton, Edon, Adon, and Ahon.
It's gonna be me trying to read French out loud.
It's like 2 pages.
Okay.
Okay, well, Arzu says it's 4, so donate your super chats to the Nerdy Reads Fund.
Yep, bring him here.
Oh my
step
God.
right up. Nerdy's gonna do funny voice.
Blue Sun, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Jizz comes from jism, meaning energy and strength. It's used for seminal fluid. It goes back to the 19th century. Oh, I was right. It is 1800s.
Okay. So
All right.
there you
so
go.
George Lucas did know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Dude's a dirty dog.
Yeah. We knew that.
He's also so fucking rich. George Lucas, can I have $1?
Can I have $1?
Can I have $1? Can you imagine if he popped him in super chat at $1?
That would be...
I like actually... I wouldn't believe that it's him.
No.
Like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger has given me money, but it's not, obviously not Arnold.
Yeah,
Like,
because you can kind of make
yeah.
your...
But, like, if I knew that it was him and George Lucas showed up and gave me $1, I think that I would die.
When we move to LA, he'll just walk up to us on the street and hand us
Hey
a
guys,
dollar.
welcome to Los Angeles. My name's George Lucas, and I'm here to welcome you to my great city. Here's $1.
I don't even know if he
Housing
lives in
prices.
LA.
Housing prices are pretty crazy.
He might not
No,
even
he
live
doesn't.
in
He
LA.
lives like north of LA, and he's trying to like. We can't get into the lore of George Lucas because we need to get into our sponsor. Our sponsor today is MistyMountainGaming.com. That's right. MistyMountainGaming.com is a website where you can go to buy stones that have been shaped by the very gods themselves for the wild combat that is only possible at your table when you and your friends gather together to play TTRPGs. That's tabletop role-playing games. When you gather a party of like-minded individuals and you wish to combat the demons that rise from the depths of hell, you need polyhedric shapes carved from the stones beneath your feet that they may bring gambits of chance into your game. Go to MistyMountainGaming.com and use the coupon code nerdynightly15 to get 15% off your order.
Your eye is so red.
nerdynightly15.
Damn.
Back to the show.
Well done. Good ad read. I think that one's the best yet.
What just happened? I blacked out
You
for a
had a
second.
stroke. It's fine.
Is my eye really that red?
It's just the side of the left one. Arzu, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Total super chats need to add up to $100 by the end of this video for Nerdy to read it. All right.
I mean, we'll hit that. I'm not.
That's fine.
I'm not worried.
We can do that.
Please have mercy on our ears.
Yeah, seriously. Anyone with headphones in is like, oh my lord.
Desi says, now I'm too scared to order anything.
Sweet and Savory, thank you with a super chat. Someone
We
else
really should plan our ads in advance because I don't know what just happened.
No, it was great.
I just started talking and then it went fucking weird.
Yeah, seat of the pants is how we do it here at nerdynightly.
Bogdan, thank you for that super chat. Here's to the Sellish System
you.
essay. Also looking forward to that PS discussion.
Let's go.
What's PS?
Postscript? I think, maybe?
Interesting.
Juba in chats over on Twitch says Missy Mountain doesn't deliver. You must pick up your order personally and defeat a dragon to earn your loot. That checks out.
Please be careful driving while listening to this podcast. I can be randomly loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And Practically Evil, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch with your Prime.
Let's go, Practically Evil.
Give me that Daddy Bezos money, thank you.
Give me that Twitch goodness. Jubal Rawl over on Twitch says, Miss Mountain doesn't deliver. You must pick up your order personally and defeat a dragon to earn your loot. Did you already read that?
Yeah.
I am blacked out in the middle of that ad read, and I've not yet returned to my body.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
I literally read that
I don't know what
right
happened.
before I said the Prime Gaming.
Guys, I'm gone. Halfway through that ad read, I completely disappeared.
That's it. We're done. Final book club.
Somewhere in the middle of that, I was like, I just said the word Gambit. What am I talking about? Because of X-Men? And then
You know what? It's fine.
Wow. Daylight, thank you for joining the nerd table.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for book club, guys. I haven't always agreed with you. That's fair. Matt's letter, fireworks. Okay, fireworks don't break stone. But always love the content.
They're magic fireworks.
But let's talk about Elantris, guys, because we were mean last week. We were bullies.
I don't know if we were mean. We kind of like poked fun at it, but like we had a good time.
Not really.
Were we mean? Chat, were we mean?
I don't think that we were that mean. I do think that we were. I don't know that we had fun in book club. I don't know that the first half of this book was fun to read. But
no, I had fun reading it. I just didn't think it was like
we were unimpressed.
I would say that's fair.
It definitely felt like a first book. Linus Victor, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you, Linus.
For the Sellish reading. Also, can't wait for the postscript as well. We'll get there. But let's talk about now. I think that the second half of this book is sincerely so much better than the first half.
Yeah, things happen. It's
I don't know that
crazy.
they'll work. I also don't know that they're foreshadowed very well. But, like, they do happen, so at least that's fun.
Yeah.
And they also are, like, related. The characters' plots are related to one another.
Yeah.
As opposed to being just wildly separate.
Yeah.
And so it does. The second half of this book, in my opinion, works a lot better than the first.
I agree. Yeah. Things like really like kick into gear, and it was very enjoyable. Blue, welcome back to the nerd table. So I planned to read this, but then Fallout came out.
You know what? Fair.
You know what? It's rude. It came out early and all at once. So don't come early. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say this. We have seen the first episode. Our episode 1 is on Patreon. Fallout is very good. And the first episode's hilarious. And I am a big fan. Big fan. Really enjoyed it.
Yes.
That is, our editor.
That's who it was.
What?
Oh my god, it was Lona Boy. It was driving me up the fucking wall. I was like,
Rena?
I recognize from Wheel of Time.
Oh my god.
I was losing my mind. I was like, who did I think maybe it was? I was like, oh, maybe it's like Marion from Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order.
Right.
But I was like, no. I was like, I know this person from somewhere. Their voice is so distinctive, and it was driving me fucking crazy.
That's so wild. I'm glad
I'm
glad they got more work after Wheel of Time, because they were so solid in those few episodes that they're in.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those parts where, like, sometimes people can have a part like that and then kind of disappear.
Yeah. So
the fact that they had more work lined up right away is really awesome. Clearly Prime loves them, and deservedly so. I think their performance as Rena in Wheel of Time is great. And so, yeah, they did a wonderful job in the show.
Yeah, I was blown away.
I'm happy they have more work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Good for them.
Thank you. That's been driving me nuts, and I forgot to Google it. Is also thank you for that super chat. I'm not sure if we touched on that one, but we appreciate it.
All right, let's dive into this. Clarence, how did you feel about this week's reading of Elantris as a whole?
Wow. I think I understand where the term Sanderlanche comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, especially more so with this book because like so many things happen in the final bits of like the Mistborn series, but I think it was set up better. This one, it literally felt like we went from part 1 to part 2, and it was like, boom, smash, bang, like tumbling down the hill, and I was like, holy fuck.
In Mistborn, the pickup of the pace comes from the like consequences of the character's actions.
Yeah.
And in this, the pace picks up because random things start to happen at the wrong time. Right? Like, I think that one of the things that Mistborn does really well in the like Sanderlanche conversation is that everything happens on time. Like if there is like a foreshadowing about an event, you can expect that event. Whereas in this one, the book just kind of randomly picks up the pace because at one point somebody is like, they're here a month early, and you're like, oh, okay, why?
Yeah.
Like, and we never really got a reason for why. Like that.
Because fuck you, that's.
Yeah, and so the Sanderlanche happens because the plot just happens to happen at the same time, not for any particular reason. And we'll get into some of the weaknesses, I think, of the end of this book. But Blue. Oh God, I'm gonna have to read this I'm gonna have to go get the book.
Yeah, we are gonna have to get the book. Wow.
I'm gonna drive to Barnes & Noble right now and pick up the book.
Blue, thank you so much. Oh my God.
Thank you, Blue.
I'm gonna say that's also to celebrate 60K subs. Thank you.
60K subs.
Let's
go. Relaine, thank you for congrats on 60K. I have to get back to work. I wanted to pop in and celebrate with you. Well, there's the fun. I'm reading the thing.
Thank you so much. That was fast. We're 20 minutes in.
Y'all crazy.
God damn.
Y'all do be crazy.
All right. I definitely thought we'd, kind of get to the end and then people would be like, all right, let's fucking make this happen. But y'all were like, no, immediately.
No.
We'll do it at the end, of course. But like,
this is the economy Biden built. Okay, you guys? This is Bidenomics at work. In your home right now, live on YouTube. Bidenomics is I don't fucking know.
What does that mean? It's Brandonomics.
Brandonomics. We are the beneficiaries of Brandonomics, which is funny because people also call Biden Brandon.
No, that's why I said it.
Oh, I meant because Brandon Sanderson.
Oh!
Heard you make that noise before.
That was a literal light bulb going off above my head. Why are you gonna make fun of me like that?
Because Brandon Sanderson. Oh!
That's a meme. Oh my God.
You just became one of the screaming goats from the Taylor Swift song.
Into the nah!
Oh my God, let's go Brandonomics. Let's go Brandon.
We're gonna have to send that to our editor, Brandon.
Oh my God.
To make
This Brandon's all the way down. Oh my God.
I need
Stephen McAvoy. Thank you so much for that super duper chat.
Super chat, holy shit.
Haven't been able to catch a live book club in a long time, so glad I was able to be here today and enjoy the discussion at the end of the postscript. P.S. Congrats on milestones. Here's a gift. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.
$60 for 60K. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Piper Guy, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. And Arzu, thank you for gifting 10 memberships.
Oh my God.
There's not even any chat.
Oh my God.
It's just announcements.
It's just 20 dang members who can now go and listen
to the
61.
Audiobooks. We've had 2 audiobook reactions this week. 43 and 61? 49 and 61? 49 and 61.
49 and 61.
All right.
God damn.
My God, that was so funny.
Wow. Guys, thank you so much for the gifted membership.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants. Did you remember when Avril Lavigne did like an actual like boppin' version of that song? It's so good. It fucking slaps.
Yes, I do. I was deeply in love with Avril Lavigne.
Fair. Hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend.
In my when I was a full-time skateboarder, when I was 12.
You were like, she wrote that song about me.
She was the most attractive woman on the planet.
That's fair. And you were like, oh, I do performing. I'm the skater boy.
Yes. I wasn't alone in this. In Calgary, there was the Source Skate Park, which was like an indoor skating place that had like half pipes and shit. And we would, me and my friends would go there all the fucking time, and we would just talk about how hot Avril Lavigne was.
That's
and skateboard.
valid. You know what? That's...
And we would have all of our pads on, and we would skateboard, and yeah.
Wow.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Popped in for lunch break, and
Thank you,
we'll have y'all on podcast mode. Understood. Y'all make my Fridays go by fast. Oh, thank you.
We appreciate that.
We will,
That's what we're here for.
We will go live every day then to make every day go fast.
Every day is going to go by fast.
We're going to read a book every day.
No.
If you ever get the chance in your free time, y'all should check out the graphic audio productions of the Cosmere. Oh, interesting.
That would be rad. Yeah, that would be very fun. Thank you.
Jabroni. Thank you for that super duper chat.
That is so kind. Thank you.
Congrats on 60K. Happy to see your guys grow.
Cheers. Let's fucking go.
Cheers.
Waifu cups.
Waifu cups.
Look at our waifus.
Look at our hot lady friends.
Hot lady friends.
Mine kind of looks like Avril Lavigne. She's got a guitar.
Yeah, you know what? It was written. Wow, Jabroni, thank you so much for that.
So I think I'm reading the thing.
Super chat. You are definitely reading the thing. I think we hit the goal and then we doubled the goal. So
boom, let's go. 60,000 subs.
What's the stretch goal?
All right, now everyone, I need all of you to make a second account and subscribe again so we can get to 100,000 subs.
Yeah.
If everyone in chat makes 85 accounts.
Or okay, hear me out.
Go onto your parents' computer when you're home for Easter. When was Easter? Easter passed.
It's over. Or go to the Roleplay Relay channel because it's so close to 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, go over there. We're trying to get that channel monetized. We're so close.
Yeah.
We actually don't need subs. We need you guys to watch like 100 hours or something of content.
But also 1,000K subs would be a really cool milestone. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Oh, we didn't put up a discussing Daggerheart because they changed everything about Daggerheart, and we need a second. Okay.
Yeah.
We need a second to figure out what they changed the whole game.
Also, yes, we want the play button.
Part 2.
Jess gets it.
The Call of Elantris. We're 22 minutes in. Yep. Let's start the podcast.
Yeah, sure.
A sensible 22 minutes in.
Stop distracting us, chat. Stop that.
Raiden is in this book.
Yes, correct.
We find out that some time has passed since the end of last week's podcast. It's been about a week. And they are still working on some stuff. Raiden is hiding the pool from everybody because he's worried they're all going to be like, I would just like to die. Yes. I'm in so much pain.
Blue, stop distracting us. I said don't do that.
We're trying to do a show. Stop doing the thing that makes it possible for us to do the show.
How dare you? Blue, thank you so much. There's going to be so much green. Like, chat's just going to be totally green.
So we get Salen and the team putting together a plan to trap Sheor's men and kind of wipe them out in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Brandon is still hanging out with Serene every day, being like, thanks for the food. You fucked up my plans. Yep. You're really hot, though. So, like, it's okay.
And she's like, your hair's falling out, and you're kind of, like, splotchy, but for some reason I feel this weird attraction to you.
Anyway, the trap fails, and so the gang of Sheor's men gets through and attacks, and Serene's like, you withheld food from those men, and Spirit's like, I did. I am a tyrant.
Correct.
And she's like, well, I hate you. And this is a problem that can never be resolved between the two of them, and so they never speak again.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about a Sanderlanch. Yeah.
End of the book. Guys, this was fun. Thanks so much for being here for Elantris Part 2.
Yeah.
I want to ask you here, Serene and Raoden's relationship.
Yeah.
And honestly, Harathan's reveal later on in the book. How do you feel Brandon Sanderson handles the romance of this book?
Well, I mean, okay, there's not much like romance per se. There's like people who are in love, but I wouldn't say that there's a lot of written romance.
I agree with that.
The Harathan thing I have feelings about later. We'll talk about it. But this one, here's the thing. I actually think that I actually really find
Sensi, thank you for that super chat.
Did he?
So we met in 2009.
God damn it.
At auditions for
The Young Canadians of the Calgary Stampede. You can go watch videos of the Young Canadians online. It's crazy.
If you go to nerdynightly.com, you can read the entire history of our relationship in the blog section.
I forgot that you started a vlog.
I started a blog.
A blog.
And I wrote 3 episodes and a book review, and they are in there, and that is all that is on that page.
Well, there you go, Deadsy. Stop distracting us. Okay, so I actually find the idea of like Serene having this like having some kind of like feelings towards Raiden interesting, because they had never like met, but they had shared a connection through letters and through like Sion, and like I think that Brandon Sanderson was trying to like bring romance into the book with this idea that like that their connection, that their love kind of like transcends these like transformations and is more than like what they look like, and those kinds of ideas. And I think that it is like the first published book. I think it's actually a pretty decent attempt. I make jokes because Serene is like, oh yeah, no, I still like Raiden, but like he's kind of the first man that she's ever felt a connection to, and like that has actually like wanted to like seems to anyway spend any amount of time with and romantically. So this idea that she kind of, those feelings transfer over even though she doesn't know who this person is, and she's kind of confused about them. I find that very sweet. I think that their romance in this book to me isn't my favorite because of that, though, is because it's like, because it's that Serene has, he's the only man that's ever manned for her. Mm-hmm. Serene feels... The only man that's manned. Serene feels like in these scenes, in everything else she feels like an adult, but in the scenes regarding her emotional connection to Raoden, she feels like a freshman in high school that's just into the senior guy because he's hot. Well, because she kind of is. Like, she hasn't had any romance. Sure, but she's also like 28. She's 25. Okay, she's 25 years old. Sure. And their relationship is never, it's because it's never about what they want or like what their like dream of the future is. It's never about like what I would consider the foundations of an actual relationship. No, because it is the foundations of fantasy setting where they're marrying for politics more than anything. But that's not what her and Spirit's relationship is. She just falls for Spirit because Spirit is spirited. You know what I mean? And that's a part of this book that I just don't think really ever works for me because she's 25. If she was 17, it's a little bit different because you get caught up in the like, ooh, like, but we're told at the beginning of this book that Serene's like, I am the most practical bitch. I am here to marry for money. I know what my role is. I know what I want. And then at every turn she's like, ooh, that dude. He has abs, and so I'm just so fucking in. No, and it feels a little bit high school because of it. I agree that it feels high school, which is why I like it, because I honestly feel like Serene has never had the chance to like experience like romance or love or relationships in that way, because she was engaged, so she's experienced relationships. She was engaged, but like not for like for purely my like biological clock is running out, like people think I'm gonna be an old spinster. Like she doesn't really like the guy that much. Sure, but I've been in relationships for the wrong reasons and I still learned from them. Yeah, but you still like fucked around with girls in high school, like whether romantically or sexually. I was a respectful young man. I want that on the record. Sure. Mostly. Whatever you need to say. Artists who think about Super Chat. I don't get why no one recognizes Raoden's voice. I don't get why Serene... I get why Serene doesn't, because I feel like his voice is probably not a perfect clone through the Seon. Seon, yeah. So I understand why Serene doesn't. And she's the only one who really talks to him, right? He doesn't really... He kind of avoids his friends. Yeah. While they're helping her. Maybe it is almost like a subconscious thing. Like, she connects those feelings to this person, but not, like... It's a subconscious thing. Is Mom watching? I was a respectful young man who mostly dated. I had sex with people consensually. I will agree to that. Yeah. But I was always consensually. Well, thank you very much. It better be. Out here fucking around. I've never cheated on anyone in my whole life. Yeah. I never said. I meant literally fucking around.
Literally around, too.
Like, that's...
Goddamn.
I don't...
Just take a blacklight to the city of Calgary, why don't you?
Don't do that. Also, Brandon, our editor, is in the Twitch chat, which means...
What's up, Brandon? What's up, Bunny?
We're gonna have a video going up for you later today.
Oh, yeah. Fallout on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Stick around.
I don't know. I think... I honestly think that I would have been a little bit thrown off if Serene was, like, hyper, like, emotionally aware and mature without having, like, experienced any of the, like, growing pains of what it means to, like, have a romantic or sexual relationship.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that moment where it doesn't work for me is when he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I am Raoden. And she's like, then the next time we see them, they're, like, on the roof of Kian's house, and she's like head on his chest, like, I can't believe I didn't know. And he's like, I'm sorry I lied to you for so long. He's like, it's fine, whatever. And I'm like, dude lied to you this entire, like, Raoden is lying to her always. Yep. There is not a moment in this book where he is being honest with her.
She understands
and she
how
just
politics
falls
work.
for it. And I'm like, this is not my favorite version of this. And she forgives him so easy.
It's the politician in her.
His
She's
apology
like,
is bullshit too. And so I was just kind of like, I get that he's, like, apparently the best dude ever.
Yeah.
And I think that that's also the other part of it for me, right? Is that, like, because Raoden is just presented as blandly the best dude ever. Raoden, by the end of the book, is no more interesting than he is the first time he's described.
Yeah.
Because
he is perfect.
He's just great.
Yeah.
He is the smartest person in every field because he figures out the thing that none of the experts in any field have ever thought of before.
Yeah.
He is the best at the Aeons. He is the best at and. Yeah. And so you just kind of get, like, I get maybe she's in love with him because he is the best dude. Like, it's like falling in love with Ryan Gosling, and you're like, I get it. But I do. I wish that he had been expanded upon more. Because, to be honest, I don't really know what Raoden wants. Right? Like, I don't really know who Raoden is outside of, like, being a prince. Yeah. And so he's just kind of blandly successful at the thing that he has to be good at in order for the plot to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there's much to his character outside of that, which is why I think I gravitate to Hrathen so much. Because Hrathen is more of a character than Raoden is. He has a
crazy journey. Yeah.
Especially by the end of the book. Like, those final moments for Hrathen are so fucking... We need to keep going to the chapter discussions, but, like, yeah, it's just interesting.
Destidic, thank you for that super chat. It's always a good time here at book club.
Yeah, I do like that we have different feelings about the romance, though, because I kind of felt like, oh, like, that part didn't work for me, and I'm glad that it did for you more.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I understand this. Like, I get it. James Ross, do you want a cake?
I think we actually owe James a cake.
Do we?
I think we do.
Oh, I thought that was a joke. I thought they were like, no, don't send me a cake. Like, I'm going on a cruise.
Oh, okay. Well, then, James, you don't get a cake.
Chapter
29.
I could be wrong.
Serene and Ash go back home, and yeah, where are we in this book? So much happens after this. I'm like,
yeah, this is literally Sanderland. So she's upset, right? Because Raoden is, she's like, Raoden's a tyrant, and then Ashley's like, well, you know, in a place like Elantris, maybe he, like, kind of has to be. Like, you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
Wait. She goes to her uncle because she's stressed, and someone shows up and is like, hey, someone turned into a Lantrian today. And it's like, oh, who could that be? And then we cut over. It's fucking Hrathen. It wasn't poison. The potion turned him into an Elantrian. Which, like, as a plot point, so cool. As a, like, in-world explanation, like, nobody studied them, but this guy has a potion.
Well, but it doesn't
This guy from another country knows how to potion that makes you into this thing.
But it doesn't actually make you an Elantrian. It mimics the symptoms of the, like, ashy, blotchy skin and the hair falling out. Which, like... Definitely convenient that there is just a concoction that, like, does that. But, like, in world, like, sure, like, I buy it. It's a magic fantasy setting. It doesn't matter. But yeah, like, yeah, this guy who, like, follows the mysteries is just able to make a thing that makes you look like an Elantrian. I think that what really threw me off from it, though, was that Hrathen contacted him. I didn't even think about this last week. This is some guy who is not, like, another Gjorn. That Hrathen contacted through the super secret Sion that nobody is supposed to know about except Word. And he just believes that Jadeth, like, is a fucking walkie-talkie for them to talk through. Which, that was very funny.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
That it's like God talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this was wild. I was like, what? I really thought Hrathen had killed himself, and this was very cool.
Nope, definitely didn't do that.
He also just stays there. He doesn't take a step into the city. He just stays and prays.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the opposite of the pull-out method.
God.
The stay and pray.
The stay and pray.
Yeah. I stayed and prayed often in college.
Jesus Christ.
And you know what? Worked out. No kids, I hope.
Hopefully.
Hey, if you are the mother of my child, let me know. Or no. Actually, don't. Just let me live in ignorance.
Wow.
Nah, I'm kidding. I wore a condom. Chapter 31.
Jesus Christ.
Saolin, who was injured in the
fight against
Sheor's people. The Raoden takes him up to the pool and lets him pass on into the Mistborn universe?
What?
Postscript.
No, okay, we'll get there. No.
Are the Elantrians just dumping their most injured people into another universe to die somewhere else?
No, because Mare also is
Johnny Coleman, nerdy assumes someone died, take a shot.
Brandon Sanderson
We're dying today, boys.
Thank you, Johnny Coleman. No. Brandon just likes to reuse names. Because you've got Mare and you've got Hoyt. He just is recycling names. Because there's
I think that is Hoyt the Beggar from the first Mistborn book. Why would it specifically be Hoyt the Beggar? His name isn't just Hoyt. It is specifically Hoyt. The postscript is called Hoyt the Beggar, named after the fucking character from Mistborn. You can't tell me that was just a convenient thing to fuck with people, and then the dude is hopping universes through the magic pool in the sky.
So what, you die in the pool and
I don't think they die. I think the Elantrians are dropping people into an inter-world portal, and they're just dropping people onto a field somewhere in fucking Luthadel to, like, moan in agony forever.
But they're not in agony. Like, Hoyd is a person there.
But no, I'm saying that Saolin, because they're already in agony, the pool doesn't fix them. They just get tossed into a portal in agony, and then they bop out the other side, and the people are like, oh, they got a peaceful death. Meanwhile, Saolin's in fucking, like, a field with some ska person being like, why is this fucking diseased thing on the ground? I think
that would have been mentioned. If there were just, like, random sickly-looking people with no minds that were, like, found randomly throughout Luthadel, you know? Like...
you don't know. The ska had some other shit to deal with at the time. There was a lot going on.
That would be a weird thing to put in afterwards.
Hoyt the Beggar is fucking dipping in and out of universes using fucking magic water. What?
Unless, okay, so Hoyt was like... I guess we're talking about the postscript already. Fuck. Yeah,
because we're at the pool.
Hoyt jumps in of his own accord, still sentient. So maybe that's why he keeps his name, but, like, anyone else who, like, dies, who is too far gone, they, like, get born, like, anew. They like, don't remember their name. They're, like, somebody else. So, like, Saolin could be fucking, Kelsier. Like, clubs or something.
No, Saolin is Kelsier, inspired by his memories in his subconscious of Raoden. So Raoden literally inspires Kelsier.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Hear me out.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, Saolin said, the Elantrians are all together when they realize that because of Sheor's actions, no more food's coming in.
Yep.
And they're like, fuck. And Raoden's like, well, you can still, like, work for me. And they're like, yeah, all right. It's something to do.
Yep. Yep.
And,
Raiden and Galadon, they, like, go to Sheor's people and, like, just throw down fucking, like, uncooked, like, grain and stuff. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm gonna try and convince them to, like, kind of, like, join us. But it's, like, hard and you can't really, like, eat it or enjoy it. So, like, some of them come to, like, get it, like, cooked, and some of them don't. They don't get it. They're too far gone.
So instead,
they murder a child, and join Raoden. They bring the scalp. They literally scalp Sheor and bring that as an offering to Raoden.
I do love
dark.
authors like Brandon Sanderson who are like, oh my god, my religious background means I could never write a sex scene, but I will have this army of grown men scalp a child and bring her head as offering.
Yeah. That's like nothing.
Jesus would love that book, but oh my god, if Serene showed a boob on page,
Joseph Smith,
I will not get my own planet.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Then we get to chapter 32. Serene, fully covered, don't worry, is attending an eclipse viewing ball. This was wild. Y'all, this fucking chapter coming up this week while we're driving to the eclipse.
Yeah.
Very, very, very weird timing.
Yeah, that was strange.
There are some circumstances in life that feel like fate. And reading this book this week felt like fate.
Yeah,
because I saw an eclipse for the first time, and it was cool.
Yeah. Shu over on Twitch, thank you for subscribing with your Prime. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Shu. Welcome in.
It is very strange that it just so happened to like line up perfectly with that. I don't know. That's fate.
And so there's a whole party, but none of it's actually important. The whole party is a ruse.
Yeah.
Serene has Royale set up a party so that she can stalk the king. Because she knows the king is going to leave early. The king does not get in his carriage. Thankfully, her Scion, Ash, notices this.
Yeah.
She follows the king to the sewer.
Yeah. Where the king is knifing his maids and shit as sacrifices to try and get shit done.
Everyone, round of applause for Clarus for guessing once again what was happening.
Did I?
On the bi-weekly King Sneak. Yeah. I was like, oh no, he's going off to fuck these women and they're running away. And you were like, no, he's killing them.
I probably said that.
You did. You got it right.
Guys, I totally said that. Thank you. Wow, appreciate it.
And chat joked that you always guess it's murder.
But am I wrong though?
This is something where this scene was very cool.
Uh-huh.
I very much I like the way it played out. I like the fight. I love that Deloff went for some Deloff followed them for some reason.
Well, yeah,
which is so weird.
Deloff was Deloff's got eyes and ears everywhere, which we learn later on, right? So he smells that something's fishy and it's just following what other people are doing, and yeah.
At the same time, as much fun as this chapter was, and it kind of starts the of the plot to the end.
Yeah.
I really wish that I wish that Aiden had been set up more for this. Because this, in terms of his character, really felt like it came out of fucking nowhere to me. He always seemed kind of incompetent and kind of an ass. But and it goes back to the week one, I don't really know what the mysteries are. I guess that they're voodoo. It's that Brandon Sanderson trying to have a voodoo element to this book. Because it's cursing somebody by murdering women over and over again, but it's clearly not working. So he's just murdering people, hoping that the mysteries... It just kind of came out of nowhere, and then he's dead and gone, and I was like, that felt very important and kind of wasn't. It almost felt like this was something that we needed to get past, rather than something that we needed to get into. And I don't know. I was like, oh, I guess that doesn't really feel like the Aiden that we've set up, but sure. I didn't know that he cared about religion at all, but I guess he was a deeply...
Well, no, he, very vehemently is no, I worship Domi, no, get the fuck out of here, Horathan, right? At the very beginning when Horathan is convert, and he's fuck you. He seems, very,
Takamura says, imagine not predicting the murder cult. I didn't predict the murder cult.
Imagine. I don't know what that feels like.
But the weird thing about the mysteries to me, and it gets into the not really setting up what the religions are.
Yeah.
Is that I still don't know what the mysteries are clearly very important because the guy who makes the potions follows them, and the Douladel thing is really important that he doesn't that Galadon doesn't follow the mysteries.
Yeah.
But that maybe his people do. But then also the king does, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the point of having Aiden overthrown for the sacrifice instead of for
any other reason.
Because that's a weird
because it gives
thing.
Serene. Here's the thing: it gives Serene a plot in the first half.
Yeah.
That is not relevant in the second half.
It doesn't really matter. It's fine.
Serene uses her country's wealth in a way that is going to destroy Tio eventually. Mm-hmm. And like Serene can never be given the throne because she just passes around her country's wealth to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
At the drop of any need. And like she goes so far out of her way to save Aiden in the first half of this book, and it is so meaningless. And like I feel like something about her solving this, rather than it just being that one night she heard a noise in her room, mm-hmm. and then she assumed a plot to go catch him in the act. It could have been...
It's not one night.
No, but I mean, like, it starts out with one night. She's like, oh, that's weird. I feel like the Aiden's fall could have been tied into her trying to save him in the first half, and those things could have converged so that plot was just a little bit cleaner.
Yeah. But
her trying to save him from losing his crown and her figuring this out about him are completely separate plots.
Well, she has no idea what she's walking into that sewer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she doesn't get it. Like, I don't even think in Serene's wildest dreams that she was gonna find Aiden butt naked, murdering a woman, like, ripping her open with a knife. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that was on her bingo card for the evening. So, it definitely kind of, it feels like it comes out of left field, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just think the mysteries to me are like everywhere in a way that I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I also just think there's too many. I think there's too many religions and magic systems in this book. Ultimately, I think that it gets to the point where it's like none of them are explained, but there are a bunch of them, and I just wish that had gotten into a little bit more.
Just none of them are explained.
Yeah.
I don't mind like a bunch of different things that kind of stem from a similar place. Like that happens. Yeah. I have absolutely no idea what each one is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
In itself. Yeah.
Brian E.T. says, if a religion called the mysteries is mysterious and not explained very well, is that just good writing at that point? Not at the point where it becomes a main plot point in the downfall of the king.
Yeah, that seems like, pretty important.
Do curses... Part of the problem is this is a world where magic does exist. So do the curses work?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like... And the fact that I don't know is weird because I read the book and I'm like, yeah. I don't know what the point of this was. Other than, oh, fuck, I need to get rid of the king and I had my main character save him in the first half. So he's murdering women. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It is foreshadowed by the fact that there are girls missing. I totally get that. I'm not saying that it comes completely out of left field. It just comes out of left field for Aiden's personality. He doesn't seem like a murderer. That just doesn't, I don't get that vibe from him.
Sure.
He seems like a little too busy with everything else to like be doing nightly murder.
He definitely does not think highly of women.
No.
So, I guess
but like
that's
most
like kind
men
of...
don't.
Yeah.
And most men aren't murderers.
Well,
statistically,
not all men. No, sorry.
If even half of men were murderers, we would have a quarter of the population missing.
Well, yeah.
That's just facts.
Whether or not you want to be a murderer and act on it or not, I think is different. But well, he's the king, so can do what he likes, I guess. Anyways, Hrathen is praying.
Yeah.
For 3
He's watching
full
the eclipse,
days.
But Hrathen does not have eclipse glasses, which is dangerous. Hrathen, protect your eyes. Gotta take care of your peepers.
We've got some spare ones if you need it.
Yeah, we're not gonna need them until 2026, so you can borrow them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just praying.
He contemplates the nature of worship of Jesker, but doesn't get into what that means. Would have loved it here. This would have been a really cool moment to get into what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he eats his food, and that's chapter 33. Chapter 34, we get a bunch of people. This is where we get the Sheor's head being delivered. It's very sad.
Yep.
And it literally...
They never find her body because they ate it.
We just kind of get this conversation with Raiden where he's like, hey guys, like I need you to take over learning Aeon Dor because I'm not going to last very long because I hurt. And they're like, what do you mean you hurt? And he's like, well, every once in a while I hurt real bad. And then it goes away.
That's not how that works.
Like,
and he's like, well, it is for me.
And then he goes, ah! And they're like, dude, you were shiny. That's crazy, brother. You were so shiny.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, that's weird. And then someone comes in and is like, hey, Hrathen's cured?
Yeah. Question mark?
That's wild.
Yeah. Yep.
So chapter 35, Aiden has hung himself. I would say like Jeffrey Epstein, but we all know Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. And so...
Jesus Christ.
We all know it. Oh, come on. We all know it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Shenanigans.
And Aventio's like, oh, Telri's gonna get the throne because he's the richest guy now. He's gonna be terrible at it, but it's probably gonna be him. So
what an insane system.
Yeah, like
also,
actually bonkers.
I don't really,
because you only become rich from exploiting people.
Like, so here's my question about this that I don't think the book actually got into, and maybe it did and I missed it. So this society isn't patriarchal, right? Oh no, it is. I guess it is patriarchal. So Ishin doesn't get anything. I would have loved a little bit more Ishin here.
No, she just dies.
She just disappears.
And then dies.
Oh no, I know, but like
literally,
but like from the book entirely, I feel like nobody even like I would have loved if Serene had checked in on her.
Yeah.
I think it would have like shown humanity in Serene in a way that like I get the book didn't have time for, but it felt weird to me that like this all happens and then Ishin just kind of is dealt with off page and Raoden never asks about her. If my dad was dethroned and killed himself and I got out and was talking to my new wife, I'd be like, hey, what happened to my stepmom? And I'm sure they have that off page.
Yeah.
It's just, I did kind of feel like Serene's like, oh man, Aiden really doesn't view women as people. And then in this moment doesn't show that she does either.
Right. Because
Ishin isn't valuable to her plans.
Yeah.
And so it just felt a little bit gross that Ishin is just sort of like, that there's no thought to her mother.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's no, Serene has no attempt at helping Ishin through this.
Yeah. Yeah, she literally disappears and is irrelevant. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. It's basically the same as the American system. Yeah, that's pretty much. So, you know, there's things happening. Serene is like, oh, the city guard is on Telri's side. That's a problem. Mm-hmm. They at least have, like, what's his name? Is it Eventio who has the private army?
No, Eventio is Serene's dad.
It starts with an
Elrian?
E guy.
Alrian or Elryan or something like that.
No, it's like
Eondel.
Eondel, thank you. Yep.
I think.
Yeah, they've got Eondel's private army, but that's just not going to be enough. So, Serene is like, well,
these fucking names.
Royale, why don't we get married? Then we'll be the richest. And he's like, well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, sure, I guess let's get married.
And then immediately is like, I'm not going to force you. I know that one of the first things I said in your presence was that if I do marry someone, I will force them to have sex with me. I'm not going to force you to have sex with me.
Just going to walk that back.
I'm so sorry I said that in the first half of the book.
Yeah, we're going to walk that back.
Now that I'm actually getting married, I'm thinking about that conversation and going, that was a weird thing for me to say.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I hope that he had some good self-reflection in the moments before he died.
When it was Royale, I was like, it is so weird the conversation that we had last week about this specific character.
Yep. Yep. Anyways,
James Munk.
James,
thank you for that super chat.
Super chat.
Been here since we have time. Literally can't wait for Stormlight. We can't either. I read this years ago and thought it was rubbish then. Only Brandon book I don't really like. Fair?
Look, I understand why. I do. I understand why. I love the, like, concepts and ideas in this book, but I think, yeah, Brandon learned a lot about execution, for sure.
I also, like, I enjoyed the second half, like, a lot. I had fun with it. I don't love it, and I don't know that I'll read it again.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the reading of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be my favorite book, but, like, it's better than a lot of other books I've read.
Fair. You know what? That's fair.
Like, you know, I think that as a first book, it's still fucking impressive, right?
Sure, yeah.
If this was his latest book, I'd be like, ooh, Brandon's slipping.
Right. We all gotta start
If you wrote
somewhere.
Mistborn and then this, I'd be like, God, oh no.
No.
You're going the wrong,
we all
reel
start
it back.
somewhere.
But
yeah.
because the trajectory, I'm so glad we started with Mistborn and not this. It would be really hard to go from, I'd have been like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah. Yep. Chapter 36, Hrathen is, cured, no problem.
Yeah.
Leaves, he's like, oh yeah, it's totally fake. He doesn't say that, but, like, we know it's fake. Because also
Dilaf is like surprised.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about Dilaf. I need a whole timeline on Dilaf's existence. Because Dilaf is very confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that, like, I hated the Dilaf reveal. I'm going to be open and honest about it right now. Did not like it.
Okay.
Dilaf's plan is too insane to have worked.
Which plan?
We'll get to it. Let's get to it when we get to it.
Sure.
But for now, Dilaf is like, oh my god, I did not know your game like that. And he turns into Shaquille O'Neal.
You crushed it. Also, they went through all of Wraith and stuff, but they didn't find the Sion because they couldn't get into the box.
Yeah,
so.
But almost all the potion bottles are broken.
Yeah, there's only one left.
Yeah.
I wonder who that could be for. Dun, dun, dun.
Zyba says, yeah, there's a lot about Dilaf I like, but it is ultimately too confusing. I agree.
Sure, yeah.
The Dilaf reveal really is the most, like, does this make sense with the rest of the book?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Why was Dilaf doing anything that he was doing?
Because
goof em ups. Because Dilaf and Wern's whole thing is we're going to send Hrathen to Aralon to fuck around for 2 months.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Yeah. Haha.
Like, the whole point of this book is kind of plotless. It only happens because Wern and Dilaf are like fucking
they were like
goobers.
We're gonna write him this letter. We're gonna actually we're gonna put the seal on it. We're gonna sign it. Oh my god, he's gonna fall for this.
I want to
so
commit
hard.
so much murder, but like, what if we waited 2 months and did a bunch of random shit first instead for no fucking reason? When the plan is just to kill them all. Like, it literally, the whole plot of this book is that the bad guys are playing with their food, and like the good guys win because of that. But none of the actions the bad guys make in this book make any fucking sense. If you really like think about what their plan is, you're like, you could have just done this from day one. You have magic super soldiers and Aralon has no army. What are we doing?
Literally no army.
Like, it's not even like the monks like needed time to like get made into super monks. They've had them for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, the whole plot of this book is so weird.
They had to
I don't understand any of it.
They had to wait until the market so that they could get
they're
the super
soldiers. Like, they're literally super soldiers.
Not the market, babe.
If they had just set the super soldiers instead of Hrathen at the beginning of the book, there would have been no plot.
Yeah.
There, like, literally wouldn't have been a plot. Also, they don't even need to fucking send them by boat because they have teleportation that they introduced in, like, chapter 55.
They literally could have just teleported into the middle of the castle by, like,
they could have given up 50 people to teleport in a 50-person army that would have wiped out Aralon in a day.
Yeah.
And they didn't because it was funnier to fuck around with Hrathen for 2 months for no reason.
Giggling about it, like... yeah.
It is so weird.
They are the mustache twirliest of villains. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the plot. Yeah,
They're like, no, guys, this is gonna be so funny. Oh my god, this is gonna be hilarious.
It feels like a bad comic book movie that wants to have a big fight at the end because it feels like it needs to have a big fight to be a comic book movie. And so they're like, oh, there's another magic system and there's the anti-Elantrians, but they're introduced so late that you're like, sure.
Yeah, sure. Raiden, he's hurting. Ouchies.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like there's like a pressure. He doesn't understand it. He like passes out, and Galadon and Karada are like, "What happened? You're glowing." And he's like, "I'm being attacked by the door. The door is attacking me."
Much like every Dungeons and Dragons party ever.
It's a mimic.
The greatest nemesis. No, it's not even a mimic. It's just a door.
It's just trying to lockpick a door.
It's just trying to get through a fucking door.
Yeah.
Raiden is just a party of D&D adventurers in one. That's why he's good at everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sereni and Lukal and Shuden, they're all like watching Hrathen give a sermon on the day of the funeral, and you know people are buying into it because obviously this guy looked like he became an Elantrian and was like healed, so they're like, oh well, that's got some merit to it, you know. I might go listen to that guy. I get it. Then there's the high priest of the Korath. Yes, yeah, he's arriving. to do the wedding stuffs and the crowning stuffs for Royale and Serene.
On the day of Iodon's funeral.
Yeah, wow.
And my favorite thing about this chapter is when Serene's like, yeah, he had to find the right flowers for both a funeral and a wedding. And I was like, you're doing it in the same room?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you
Royale
people?
is so fucking frugal that he cannot have a flower change between the funeral and the fucking wedding.
Yo, I have catered events where I had to change the centerpieces between courses.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Why? Okay.
Because it's just... it was a bar mitzvah.
It's money.
I wish it was it was just a bar mitzvah.
It's money.
Yeah.
Anyways, Shanlin, Serene does not like Shanlin very much. He's like a pretty kind of airhead, basically, is what it comes across as.
Oh, it's Sean. It's another Sean.
Shanlin, yeah.
It's just Sean.
It's Sean,
It's
guys.
just Sean.
It's Sean.
They're all Sean.
They are.
At the end of the day, they're all Sean.
Yeah, Sean doesn't like Sean very much. And so they're gonna do the wedding, and oh my gosh, surprise, Serene has been taken by the show.
You're saying this as if it wasn't surprising, but we were sitting at the table, like, about to eat dinner, and I was listening to the audiobook, and Clarice was way behind me at this point. You were, like, 6 chapters behind me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my
she
God.
pulls back the veil and pulls her hair out, and the room gasps, and I went, oh, fuck!
That is actually what we were literally sitting there eating dinner, and he just starts screaming and gets up from the table.
I can't even tell you. I can't. Oh my God. Oh my
and I was
God.
like, "Are you good?" Which is hilarious because when I was reading it, as soon as I saw there was
you gotta catch up.
Which okay, how did you not think it was going to be Serene when there was one potion left?
I didn't think it would be Serene because I was like, well, by letting her be healed as well, you're basically giving the power of Shudarith away to, like, because she doesn't believe in Shudarith. So you're saying that, like, Jadith is healing a non-believer?
Yeah, because he prays for her for 5 days.
I didn't expect that part of it.
Oh, okay.
Once we got into the Teo stuff, it made sense.
Yeah.
But I was like, why are we...
Yeah, no, Harathan...
It's a plan that, like, it almost works for him, but it also could have backfired really badly.
It could have. He's literally like, okay, I have 5 days to get shit done. Like, that's not a lot of time. But he also has, like, weird feelings for Serene for some reason that's not really set up at all.
Harathan's in love with her.
For some reason.
I loved you, princess.
Because he likes an adversarial relationship, I guess.
His I love you came out of fucking nowhere.
Weird. Guys, I'm not gonna lie.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
For me, personally.
Yeah. I don't understand. I
love you, by the way, dies.
I think it was supposed to be more of a commentary on Serene's view of herself. She's like, oh, I'm old and I'm tall, so no one's gonna love me. And Brandon Sanderson's like, well, no, that's not true. So we're gonna have these characters who are, like, interesting, complicated men. Well, actually... Raden's not really complicated or that interesting. But we're going to have men love you. Like, I think it was supposed to be more of a commentary on Serene, that, like, she is too hard on herself. But Harathan, not my choice. Not my choice. I think it's weird.
I think that I could have bought into it
interact.
if they had one conversation that was just about anything else. Yeah. And I think that some things do that really well, right? Where, like, where the conversation between the two characters who are antagonists to one another, they enjoy the art of each other's conversation so much that they get pulled off topic to talk about other things.
Yeah.
And, like, so they, like, build this relationship. There is the antagonistic side of it, but then there's also, like, sometimes they're just talking about art that they both loved growing up, and they catch themselves getting out of the antagonism because of a mutual respect.
Yeah.
This book never has that.
Yeah.
They don't even really have that many conversations with each other.
They speak, like, twice.
And so it's what makes this... It makes Serene's high schoolness feel a little bit more... a little bit less, like, real romance to me. Mm-hmm. And why I'm like, I don't think her and Raoden are actually going to have a great marriage. I
think they're going to do their best, and I think they're going to be happier than a lot of people in, like, this kind of world.
Marriage is going to be a disaster.
Why?
Because Brandon's like a god now, and Serene, like the foundation of their relationship is lies and political maneuvering.
Yeah,
and
but Serena
they
has
live
no
in two
problems
different
with that.
worlds.
Serena's like, yeah, politics. Totally get it.
Yeah, I think that, like, yeah. But anyway,
also,
Hrathen being like the senior who looks at her like a fucking like nubile object that he wants to stick his dick in doesn't help.
Yeah, here's the thing. We also, I think we have a different perspective on like on relationships than a lot of people. I literally saw on Twitter that someone was like, oh, your partner is always going to have secrets from you. It's just whether or not you like trust them enough that like they affect you or not, or that it's in your best interest or whatever. And I was like, do we have secrets? Like, I was like, is that like is that a must in a relationship that you have to have secrets from one another? Because if so, we need to put up some fucking boundaries. Like, I was like, I understand that our view of relationships is not going to be the same as everybody else's, but that one was a weird one to me where I was like, oh no, your partner is always totally going to have secrets from you. And I was like, but like, why though?
I think there's some element of truth to that in early relationships. I think that some people get hung up on like when you reveal things. I think that when you get married, that kind of goes away. And you know, obviously a lot of marriages fall because of secrets, right? But I think that like in your early relationship, people are like, well, you didn't tell me about that. It's like, well, we've been together 3 weeks and I don't know when the right time for that is. And it's like, at that point, I'm like, like, there's a lot of stuff that when you're dating someone, you are not going to reveal right away. And maybe like, it takes time to be comfortable revealing the things that you're most insecure about yourself.
Sure.
But
yeah, no, this person
long
was
term,
like talking about like long-term marriages. And I was like, I don't know if I believe that. Lightbone, welcome back to the Nerd Table. I've been following you since your reaction to Season 1 of Wheel of Time. And stay for the acting, singing, and comedy, which is especially prevalent today. No singing. You know what? We should fix that, but thank you. Welcome back.
I saw the sun. There I sang. I will sing the entirety of the essay at the end of this.
No. Stretch goal. You have to make that a stretch goal because that is a lot more work.
I will sing it to the tune of One Day More from Les Mis, and I will make it work.
From Les Mists?
From Les Mis.
Excuse me? No, that is a stretch goal. We're not giving them that for... That's a lot. You're very generous.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird people have different views on relationships, and I was like, okay, I just need to accept that, I guess.
So
Elantris town? Oh my God.
Like you're in town? That's very funny.
Yeah.
Les Mis Bornables.
Elantris town.
Chapter 39, Hrathen is like at the wedding, watches Serena get turned in, and is like, I've got 5 days.
Yep. Yeah.
I really hope the woman I'm in love with survives the nightmare that I'm putting her through.
I mean, yeah.
Because you know what you do when you love a woman?
You
put her in a life or death situation.
Yeah. Because then when she gets out of the trauma, you're going to be there to be like, oh, it's okay. And it's creepy. Anyways.
Why do men? Chapter 40.
Spirit is like, oh, Serene. Crazy to see you here.
But also, the really important thing in this chapter is that the city guard's gone. And Brandon and Galadin don't know why.
Yeah.
And Serena doesn't immediately tell them.
Yeah. She, like, doesn't want to talk about it for a few days, and they're like, okay, you finally have to, like, talk about it.
And so, naturally, now that Serena is also a member of the Elantris Club, Brandon immediately is like, hey, so now that you're one of us, I am an Elantris. I am Raoden, right?
Nope.
He's honest with her?
He waits, like, 5 days for that.
Raoden! Why are you lying to the woman you love? So yeah, he keeps lying. Even though Serene's mad at him for lying about something else, he just is like, well, you know what? I'm going to follow that up by continuing to lie to you. And Raoden's like, can you give me a second chance? And she's like, yes, I will. And he's like, great. I'm going to continue to lie to you. Sorry about it. You know who kind of looks like an Elantrian? Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, Light Blinded Fool, is fucking the Vanessa Hudgens Beauty and the Beast movie that takes place in Brooklyn. That dude kind of looks like an Elantrian. That movie's terrible. That movie's really, really bad. But that kind of looks like what I think Raiden might look like. Chapter 41. We get Beastly. Thank you. Yeah. It's not a good movie, Talkmore. I'm so sorry to break the news to you. The movie's not good. The whole like Neil Patrick Harris playing his like blind mentor character, really, really like there's some uncomfy weird shit. Machu Picchu trip is leaving. The bus to Machu Picchu. Okay, you like it for the same reasons that I like it. I can appreciate that.
What?
Beastly. Have you ever seen Beastly?
No.
It's Vanessa Hudgens and Hot Boy in a Beauty and the Beast ripoff that takes place in Brooklyn. I don't remember his name. His name's like Alex, I think.
No, it's Prince Andrew.
What?
In Beauty and the Beast.
No. Beastly is the movie. It's really bad. It's like
okay.
So bad that it's amazing. But yeah, the bus to Machu Picchu is leaving. It's very funny. Alex Pettyfer, that's what his fucking name is.
Never heard of that person before, ever.
Yeah, he's so ugly because he's like bald and has tattoos. It's a very weird movie.
Wait, okay, sure.
Yeah,
that is
you have
some
to
people's
see this.
whole like thing. Oh god, okay, we're Googling it. Sorry.
So he he like spurns this witch and he becomes a beast.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, but he still has killer abs.
I mean, yeah, look at those pecs.
But he kind of just looks like an episode of Chris Angel Mind Freak.
I was gonna say, he just looks like a motorcyclist that like got some road rash on his face.
And Mary-Kate Olsen is the witch that like curses him.
Wow.
Oh, it's a fucking movie.
Wow.
And Neil Patrick Harris plays his like blind mentor.
Oh no, Neil Patrick Harris is in it?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
This article is called "Montreal was the scene of a crime against cinema: the making of Beastly."
Wow.
That fucking movie.
Oh no.
Oh my god, that fucking movie is wild. Oh man, I saw that in theaters. Like I saw that like opening weekend in theaters with a group of friends who were like, "This might be good."
This sure.
It wasn't.
Sure.
Anyway, so Sereni is getting shown around by. You should react to it. You should react to that movie. Oh my god, you should react. Yes, please do that. Do that for me. I won't watch it with you because I can't. I would have to be so high, but I want to watch you watch that movie. We'll do a reaction, but I'll just be sitting here like this.
Great. Love that for me. Oh, Jesus.
I have not seen The Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford. I don't know what that is.
Oh, no, I've never even heard of that.
Okay,
wild.
so they basically are just hanging out. Spirit is basically like, hey, look at all the stuff we did with all the useless shit that you sent us because you thought you were being so fucking clever while you were being kind of the worst.
She was trolling the shit out of them, and like fucking Raiden thought it was cute. He's like, ah, she's so smart.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Sereni that I'm like, I kind of hate her. Because I'm like, you are.
I mean,
you are the kind of person that needs to win at charity, and that sucks.
To win at charity? No, the whole reason she did this was because she knew that they were fucking lying to her, and so she was trying to make it difficult for them.
Yeah, but she knew that there was a legitimate need, and so in order to not feel like she was losing in this exchange, she sent them worse stuff so that she could feel like she was winning.
Oh, I never got that vibe.
What other reason would there be for it? To send them a bunch of useless shit.
She thought that they were, like, not great people, so she was trying to, like, inconvenience them for, like, being harmful. Like, it was, like, a kind of a petty way to get back at, like, fucking, like, she thought they were literal tyrants.
Being petty to the people who... I understand what you're saying.
Because the food goes around to everybody, but the resources go to these specific people. And she was like, they might be fucking terrible.
But being petty to the people who are so far below you in terms of resources is gross to me. Like, I get it. You're worried about whether or not... And look, I don't want to make this about real-world politics right now, but limiting the resources going into an area of need... because you're worried that some of them might not go to the people that need them is shitty. It's just fucking shitty. It's really hard to talk about this book and not bring up Palestine every 5 seconds because it is just wildly like the moment.
Yeah.
But it is being petty towards people who are living under such dire conditions of need is disgusting. And I maybe would read it differently if the Israel-Palestine war wasn't going on right now and if Israel wasn't doing such a shit job of allowing the resources in to help, I don't know, kids not die of famine.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a weird connection that like kind of exists because of the moment we're in right now.
Yeah.
And my anger at...
Yep.
the situation in Palestine and like the fact that what we just need is to let some fucking trucks through to drop food off so that people can fucking eat. Like it seems so basic and so simple and so easy. And so my feelings towards Serene might be clouded by the moment I'm reading the book in.
Sure.
Because I can't not see the parallel right now.
Yeah, I think
of
that's
being
fair.
like, well, we'll send them a bunch of useless shit so that they can't accomplish anything. And it's like, that makes you the villain. That you're the bad guy in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, you understand that not providing enough food makes you the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because they're kids. That they are children. They should eat. Like, it doesn't... And so maybe I am getting in my own way of, like, viewing this book through the lens of my daily anger and
but that's what
inability
art
to sleep.
is. Like,
but...
I think not making that connection would be like a disservice. Like how you feel about a TV show can sometimes just depend on how you wake up feeling that day. Like part of the experience of art as a human is that that the world is ever changing and that we are always changing. And so I think it would be disingenuous to ignore that. Yeah. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for that super chat. Get high for the reaction. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
No, it is definitely petty.
Well, and like, thankfully, she feels bad about it.
Yeah.
When she realizes, she's like, oh, I'm maybe not as good a person as I think I am.
Because everything is like a game to her, and she realizes that, like, she took it too far.
Yes, but there are people who gamify charity.
Yeah.
And I really do find that gross, right? Like, I don't think that charity is something that should be gamified. And I understand that people who have the mindset of, well, if I don't gamify it, then I can't raise money. Yeah. I get that. And I think that if you are using your gamification to get people to give you money for charity, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're using it on the back end, on the delivery side, that's where it becomes gross.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I found Serene difficult.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. And so I'm glad that she feels bad.
She feels
about
like shit about it.
Because she should. Like, don't gamify the delivery of goods to people in need. And don't withhold them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys. I don't know if I need to say this, but like, let the food into Gaza, you fucks.
The fact that you have to say that is.
It's wild. It is truly.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
That people are like, yeah, but if we feed the children, people in Hamas might get some food. And I'm like, then do that. Then feed the children. They're fucking kids. Anyway, sorry, I'm just angry all the time. Anyway.
Oh.
What?
You're just pushing me away.
Sorry.
Actually, find Serene because well, she's not actually an Elantrian. It's fake, and Ashley is totally fine. And Ashley's like, I've been looking for days. I'm still here. Don't really know what's going on. This is what's going on in K. It's bad. It's not good. She talks to her dad. Yeah. And she's like, please don't do anything stupid. and then he does something immediately stupid.
Yeah. Hey, Aventio.
Maybe your brother should have been king.
You're a moron.
Oh, no.
You're a moron. You got played and you're a moron.
Yeah, played so
I
fucking hard.
was so mad at him. So mad. Aventio, you can't give away your whole kingdom for a daughter. Maybe for a son, but for a daughter?
Oh my god. Anyways, Hrathen is he's like back at the chapel. He's like in charge again.
Yeah.
D-Laf is still like, yeah, fuck Elantris, and Hrathen's like, look, you need to calm the fuck down. He's like, it's fine. I have a way to make this plan happen within the allotted 90 days. We're good. We're Gucci. It's going great. Then Raoden, they go to the tower that gets to the top of the wall because the guards are gone. Weirdly, it's like that never happens. And they're like, why? Why could this possibly be? So they like break through like a barricade at like the top of a tower to like get to a wall. And they're like, oh wait, is that them over with Telri?
Yeah, apparently their eyesight's fucking amazing.
Incredible, truly incredible. So
either that or like the Elantris City Guard has the most recognizable uniforms.
I guess they're flying their banner. So like, I guess, sure, yeah.
I
was like, oh.
The amount of K that you can see from the Elantris City wall is wild.
Well, it's very tall.
Yeah.
It's very tall.
Very tall.
So Spirit is like, hey, you need to tell us what the fuck is going on out there because it might affect us. And she's like, fine, okay. She finally gives them very important information. Mm-hmm. Serene also can't draw the Aeons because she's not an Elantris.
She's also cold at night.
Yeah.
She's also has a heartbeat.
Yeah, did no one ever check her for that?
No.
They're like, it doesn't matter. I just think, yeah. I guess you'd have to be like cuddling up real close.
The plot has to happen. We can't worry about any of the things that get in the way of that. Mm-hmm. And so we just don't. The plot just keeps going.
Yeah.
We
find out that the Fjordals are recreating their own texts for propaganda purposes.
And
I'm shocked, I tell you.
Spirit finds out about all the things going on out in the world for the first time, and is like, "Oh fuck, that's."
He's like, "Oh, my dad's dead.
That's my whole world.
That's my dad. Wow, that's not gonna ask about my mom, my stepmom, because fuck her. I guess everyone hates Eshin.
I get that she's like dumb and annoying. She's a person.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's so weird how everybody treats Ishin in this book as just, like, frivolous. Mm-hmm. As if her existence is frivolous because she's a frivolous person. And it's so sad to me.
Yeah.
It really is. I found the treatment of Ishin in this book, like, actually depressing.
Yep.
In a way that I was unexpected by.
Yeah. Poor
It's just
Ishin.
that nobody cares about her.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
I know, it's wild. And if I found out that like a woman I didn't know, his husband was like secretly killing women behind her back and her life was ruined, I would just be so empathetic for that person and like really try and take care of them.
Yeah, they
would be the first person on my mind in the situation.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me as a person, but like, yeah.
No, I feel you. I also love that, like, in this moment, Spirit is like, wait, so you were going to marry Royale, but doesn't your marriage contract say that you can't do that? And she's not like, wait, how the fuck do you know about my marriage contract? Have you read it?
She is, and then he's like, and they move on, and I was like,
yeah, I was like,
you're such a bad liar.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally, like, kind of minor noble-ish, maybe. Kind of.
Respect Sheekin has shown up to tell us that they don't like our reactions because we question and we overthink too much. So, to respect, cool, dude. I really
Thinking is actually really beneficial. I highly recommend doing it sometime.
Yeah, I just really don't give a shit.
Yeah, the whole, like, marriage thing, I feel like should have been a bigger, like, flashing light
but also,
for Serene.
He says that he's been in there for a year. And so, like, he's been in there since before she had a marriage contract. So, like,
yeah,
all of it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it stinks.
And it just moves on.
Stinks.
Everyone moves on. And,
Yeah.
like, Serene, who thinks about everything, who is, like, our plotter and our planner, who's, like, fucking she has a Rolodex of thoughts at all times, lets this one go, and I genuinely do not know why. I do not know why she lets this go.
Yeah, I was weird. Like, oh, this is the moment.
No, but the plot has happened.
This is the moment.
So we have to get past this.
Yeah.
Because the plot. It bugged the shit out of me.
She's like suspicious, but it apparently not enough. And she's like, hey, you know what? Royale, he's like kind of like a fucking pervert, but he's better than Telri.
No. He was a pervert in one sentence.
He said
and
one
then never again.
Pervy kind of thing. Yes.
He had one bad sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's like, oh, well, no, my contract is void because Iodon is dead, so none of it matters anyway.
Yeah.
It's fucking contracts, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So then
Ashley comes back and is like, Telri is the king. So fuck us, I guess.
Yeah, things move really fast off page in this section.
The Sanderlanche is real.
It's a good thing the Scions exist, or else this book would literally, like, the information passing of this book is so impossible.
Yeah, the Scions literally make everything possible.
But I also love that there's the only thing that they have from Elantris that still works is the Scions, and it's never explained why.
Well, because then at the end, it feels like maybe they were not made by Elantris.
No
idea. Question mark?
The Scions are just, they're such a weirdly, like, incredible, technology to have, but they almost don't fit into the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And at the end of the book, it's like, still haven't figured that one out. Like, there's literally a sentence, it's like, Reddin never figures out how they make Scions. And you're like, okay, cool.
Sure, I guess.
They were just there, though.
Wait, we're gonna find out about how Scions are made in
Emperor Soul.
No. It's gonna be like fucking like.
I think that's the last book on this planet in the Cosmere. So.
Yeah, but we know that you think they can hop planets.
Hoyd can.
It's gonna be Mistborn Era 2 book.
No, Mistborn Era 4, which is gonna be the science fiction one.
Sure, yeah. We'll finally find out about how the Scions work.
Ilodoro says there's an Elantris 2 and 3 planned still. They're actually getting written in a few years' time. So by the end of the month, then.
By the end of
guys, Brandon Sanderson
on a tight.
If Brandon Sanderson goes on vacation and the plane is delayed, a book will get published. So.
I wish I was that efficient. You know what I mean? That would be.
I mean, if your Kickstarter's gonna make $15 million, me too.
Can we also have a $15 million Kickstarter just so we can play more D&D? Starting a Kickstarter right now. Goal is
we should make a Kickstarter
million.
And make it like the goal just be to have the most expensive Kickstarter of all time and see if we can like.
I wonder if anyone's done that.
Brandon Sanderson is going on vacation, so we are getting a new book.
God damn it. Yeah, I wonder.
He goes on vacation the way I go on vacation, where I get bored after 12 hours and then I work the rest of it. Not sure I have that much money, Blue!
Blue, you don't have $15 million just
You don't have just $15 million?
What do you mean?
How
all right. Dare you? 42 million is a lot to beat. Yeah.
So we get to chapter 45. Hrathen finds the hole that Raoden and Galadon used to get out of Elantris.
Yeah.
And does nothing with that information.
Nope.
I don't know why this is in the book. Like, there's things like this moment where I'm like, oh, this is going to be important later. It isn't.
Nope.
It just isn't. He finds it and goes, I'm going to keep that to myself for later. And then it never comes up again. And I'm like, just cut it. Like, there's so much of this book could be cut because it does nothing for the plot.
Inconsequential.
And I was, like, waiting for this to come back.
Yeah.
This specific, like, they never even use this for any other purpose. Like, this is just a chapter to be like, oh, fuck, I'm doing this Raoden, Serene, Hrathen thing. And so I've got to give Hrathen something to do here.
Yeah.
And so this phone call with Evan Teo happens on top of the roof of Elantris at the hole that they use. And it is just not relevant ever again.
Yeah.
This conversation could have happened anyway. It's so weird.
Oh, we also left out that Serene fucking, like, scream bullies Iodin into not murdering everyone in Elantris.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We definitely glazed over that. I thought maybe that there would be an answer to like why he allowed her
It's
to
just
open the gates in the first place.
Fully
but...
not relevant to anything else. So it like feels unimportant because it happens and then never comes up again.
Well, because I legitimately was thinking
No, you mean
mentioned...
Tellery. We haven't gotten to the screaming at Tellery yet.
Huh?
Iden's dead.
Yeah, I mean we like skipped that. When she literally screams at him.
Doesn't she do that to Tellery?
No, she bullies Iodon into not murdering everyone in Elantris, right?
Right.
Before
the wedding.
Yeah. Cher's people attack, and she's like, okay,
he dies like 2 days later, so it like doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I know. I just thought maybe it would come up as to why he like let her in the gates, knowing that his son is in there, but...
RZ, thank you for that super chat. Add it to the baby Brandon blooters list.
Thank you.
You know, those classic blooters.
The blooters.
You fell for one of the classic blooters. God, I want to watch The Princess Bride.
The Brandy blooter.
The Brandy blooter.
I don't like that. Oh God. Yeah. The opening doesn't make sense. But he's like worried about Sereni. He's like, oh man, I love her. Probably like shouldn't have like thrown her in there, but sure. True love.
I hope my true love survives.
Yeah.
If she comes back to me, I know it'll be Jadet's purpose for me to marry that woman or some bullshit like that. Anyway,
Aventeo is like, yeah, if you save my daughter, I will convert. Dumb fuck. Spirit.
Yeah. I cannot with Aventeo here.
I know.
What a
dumbass.
dumb...
That's why I'm like, your brother should have been king. Fuck you.
Like, you have so little information, but the information you do have says that you're being fucked with, right? Like, you talk to your daughter over Sion. Sion's connected to Elantrians go crazy. Clearly something is going on, and like, without even a fucking second thought, you're giving into his whole bullshit plan because you're just like not using any fucking common sense.
Yeah. Like, he should have waited however long it took. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Aventeo, not the brightest. And
you don't even know if she's still alive.
Yeah. Spirit is, like, kind of sad about his dad's death and still doesn't think about his...
No, he does know she's still alive. Wait, he just talked to her. Never mind. I take that one back.
Oh, with the Sion. Yes.
Prathan doesn't, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know that she's going to survive the whole time.
Yeah. Just, yeah, this whole like, Aventeo just buckling so quickly, I was like, you fucking fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, your daughter literally said, don't do anything fucking stupid, and you literally ran and did something stupid.
Judah Conzazaris, thank you for that super chat. Would you rather live on Cell or Arrow 1 Scadrial? I'm assuming Scadrial's the planet that Mistborn takes place on?
I have absolutely no idea what those words mean.
This planet is Cell. I'm assuming Scadrial is Mistborn's planet. Which would you rather live on?
Depends when?
I don't know.
Like,
it seems like...
Would I want to live, like, during the Lord Ruler's reign? Like,
or Fjordal's reign.
No.
Like, Aurelon and Tio are the only countries that aren't under Fjordal's reign. So it really depends, right?
Yeah, where am I living on the planet? What faction do I belong to? Like, what is the timeline?
Have I had my body adjusted to live among the ash-eating symbiotic organisms?
Exactly. Because maybe we would just get there
we
and
would die.
Yeah.
I'm an asthmatic. I would die immediately.
You would die immediately, so you have one choice.
My body has not been adapted by the Lord Ruler to be fine with living with symbiotic ash-eating organisms.
So you'd have to live on Cell.
Am I a noble? Or am I...
Am I a Mistborn?
Am I a Ska?
Do I get to be a Mistborn? There are so many follow-up questions I have. Yeah. Am I rich?
If I'm just a regular farmer in either world, I'd rather be in this world.
Yeah, sure.
It's a little bit more stable.
Yeah, that's fair.
It seems like people mostly leave farmers alone. It's just the nobles that keep killing each other.
Slaves until Iden is trying to make them slaves again, so...
Oh yeah, there's still slavery in this world.
It depends, but that's what I mean. It depends where you're at.
Yeah.
If you're living in Teo or whatever, Teod?
I don't know.
Yeah. You're a cool farmer, I guess.
Chapter 46. Raoden is sad that his dad's dead, which, fair. I get it. Even if you didn't have a great relationship.
Oh, Sereni is like, oh, these are literally the country. This is the... You're drawing the country. Don't you know that?
Apparently nobody knew this, which seems fucking crazy because Elantris is 10 years ago.
I guess they only teach it in Teod. Because, like, Raoden should have learned this when
He learned the Aeons as a kid.
Yeah.
And never put together that they're the shape of his fucking country.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I guess the Elantrians didn't know about the chasm. This.
What do you mean didn't know about the chasm? The chasm didn't exist until the earthquake happened.
Yes, and then there wasn't one Elantrian that was like, oh, hey, maybe because the Aeons are the country that we live in, the chasm...
They all died.
They can't have all died. You're telling me that none of the Elantrians were, like, on vacation somewhere else? That none of them leave Elantris? That none of them have a summer home? You're telling me that these people are wealthy fucking god characters and they don't have a summer home?
Don't have a summer home or a yacht somewhere?
None of them have a lake house? You're telling me these people have unlimited wealth, can create food from nothing, and they don't have a fucking lake house? They don't have a sea-doo?
I mean, here's the thing. To them, it just kind of works. So maybe they didn't actually have to learn about it, you know? They just got made into Elantrians.
I think that Elantris... I think this whole book would work better if Elantris had been, like... If the fall of Elantris had been, like, 100 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, the 10-year thing... The amount of information that our characters figure out that feels like everybody should just know it because it was 10 years ago is so weird to me. And if it was like 100 years ago, I would buy into the loss of information a little bit more.
Yeah.
This gets into kind of the same problem I had with Wheel of Time, where so much of the book is about how, like, information was lost, but then there's all these characters that live to be like 700, and you're like, this information shouldn't have been lost. These characters are functionally immortal.
I think it's because when the Raod happened, right?
Yeah.
And the chasm opened up, there was also an immediate fucking rise up revolution and people died. Excuse me. And so the Elantrians probably didn't get the information that a chasm had opened up because of the earthquake until most of them were already dead or like too far gone. Right?
Right, but I understand what you're saying. But there would be... Unless the Elantrians were like a famously reclusive society that didn't teach people about their magic, which they're not because Raoden was taught about Aeons as a child. It is the problem of both having the main character have learned about this shit as a kid because he was taught it, and there were like... In multiple countries had classes on this stuff. And so clearly the information was being spread to people that weren't Elantrians. And also saying, well, all the Elantrians are dead, so the information is gone. And it's like, but the Elantrians weren't... It doesn't seem like they were hoarding that information, right? It seems like you could take a class on Aeons if you were rich. So where are the scholars of Elantris that weren't Elantrians? Were they killed too? The 10-year thing makes this super strange that, like...
Yeah, because Serene was literally taught these things.
Right. So because Serene was taught these things... the information wasn't lost. It's just this weird, like, it all takes place in this weird, like, jumble of who knows what. But I had a really hard time buying into the loss of information over 10 years. But then Serene coming in and being like, oh no, we teach this in school back home.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
I mean, I'm assuming the Elantrians knew that because Serene
it would be fucking wild to not
taught that.
Yeah. But, like, I don't believe that Teod would have figured it out years later after Elantris fell. They're like, oh, the Elantrians have been doing this magic for who knows how long. They never figured out that it was the shape of the country they live in? That would be insane to me. Also, like, did Elantris magic not exist until, like, cartography? Or did the magic system come first and then they figured out that it looked like... Okay, stay with me on this. How did they start doing magic in this world? Did they start drawing
what came first, the
country before they knew the shape of the country?
Before they'd, like, charted out
like,
the country?
The beginning of this magic system is insane to me. Because you are literally, like... You have to somewhat accurately draw the shape of a country over and over and over and over again, which implies that they knew the shape of the country. Or somebody one day went, bloop, 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 and it just worked, and he went, oh, guys, I did the craziest fucking thing. But then they had to build... No, because they had to build the city in the shape of the country. So they knew that it was the shape of the country because they built the city to be the shape of the country.
Did they build the city to fit the shape, or does the shape fit the build of the... Okay. Okay. I don't
They
like
had
it.
to build Elantris in
My
order
brain hurts.
to
Stop. My brain hurts.
have the magic, which means that they built all of Elantris without magic.
No, because it's still strong.
No, because the
there.
magic doesn't exist until the city's there. Because the
We
city
don't know
going
that.
away... No, yes, because when the city is not the shape of the country anymore, the magic goes away.
No, not the city. The chasm. The chasm is what stops the...
Right. But in order for Raoden to open the door back up, he has to add the chasm to the city.
To the city? What do you mean the city?
The city of Elantris is the shape of aeons, right? And so...
some of them. So the base shape of the aeons is the shape of the country. And then you add the shape of the city on to make it stronger. So you've got the country as the base, and then you put the Elantris city layout on top of that to amplify it.
But the city is the shape of the country.
The country, no. The city is not the shape of the country.
Yes, because he adds the chasm
city,
to the aeon of the city.
No, not the aeon of the city, of the country.
No, but the chasm's already in the country. He has to add it to the aeon of the city in order to bring the Elantrians back.
No.
Yes, he does. That's why he runs down the stairs and then he draws the big thing on the ground in the southern city.
Oh, because you were like, Elantris is made into the shape of the... Yes.
Yes.
He
so
draws it in.
So there is no magic until the city exists. Because they're not Elantrians until Elantris exists.
No, it's not that it doesn't exist. It's that Elantris acts as an amplifier. That symbol... So aeons exist and the magic exists, right? And then they found the shape...
No.
Yes, and then they found the shape that amplifies the power, and they built the city in that shape to amplify the power and make it like 100 times more
So
powerful.
then they were all like splotchy, black-skinned Elantrians.
No, because the chasm is what made that happen.
But if fixing the aeon of the city brings their silver skin back, that implies that before the city existed, the Riod happened. The Sheod happened to people, but did not make them Elantrians, did not make them silver. Because the city didn't exist yet to make them Elantrians.
No, the city doesn't make them Elantrians.
It has to, or else fixing the chasm on the city wouldn't do anything to their skin.
What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
What I'm saying absolutely makes sense, and I don't understand how I can explain this to you better. In order for adding the chasm to the aeon of the city...
Yeah, you fix the power of Aeon Door.
Right, so then the power of Aeon Door didn't exist before the city then.
Yes, it did.
It can't, because then
adding
the chasm to the city wouldn't do anything.
The city is an amplifier.
No, it's not. It is literally what makes their skin silver. It has to be what makes their skin silver, or else adding the chasm to the city aeon wouldn't do anything. I don't understand how you don't understand this. I'm losing my mind.
There's two entrances. For example, so there's two entrances. So say the magic is on this side, and it has to get out on this side. So the first door that you have to get through is the shape of the continent. Okay, that is the first door for the magic to get through properly, and then past that door there is another door that is the shape of the city to amplify the power.
But the Elantrian silver skin only exists if the second door is open.
No, the first door.
No, because otherwise...
First door.
No, because otherwise changing the chasm on the aeon of the city would not give them silver skin.
But the aeon of the city is also underneath the aeon. So you've got two base aeons. You cannot have the aeon of the city without the aeon of the country. The country is the base,
the aeon of the country is never changed by Raoden. The only aeon he changes is the city. He doesn't add the chasm. The chasm exists. Okay. Which breaks the city of Elantris.
Okay. So if you have a thing that is two layers, okay? We've got layer 1 and layer 2.
Yes.
The bottom one is the country and the top one is the city. If you take away the proper bottom one, the top one doesn't exist anymore.
What do you mean by take away the bottom one? I don't understand what you mean.
The bottom one is the country.
The country is not changed by Raoden at any point in the entire book.
Yes,
the country changes on its own.
The chasm is added.
Raoden doesn't add the chasm to the country. The chasm is added by the Earthquake 10 years ago.
Yeah, so he draws it.
No, you're misunderstanding. He has
I'm not.
He has to add the chasm to the city aeon, not to the country, because the country...
They're both the part of one aeon. You cannot have the city aeon without the country aeon.
But he doesn't change the country aeon. The country aeon is changed 10 years ago, which is what creates the Riod.
Yeah, and so then the door gets blocked, so he has to add the line.
Where does he add the line to?
What do you mean? To the aeon.
Of which aeon is he adding it to?
The aeon he's adding it to is an aeon of the country and the city placed on top of one another. You have to start with the base country aeon.
You cannot make wrong.
No, you cannot make
you
any
are just
aeons.
Incorrect. You're not right, and I need you to listen to me because you're not right.
Yes,
he
I am.
changes
Guys.
the aeon of the city. He runs down the steps.
You can't have that aeon without the country.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. Because you're not correct.
Okay.
The country...
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the country changed 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So the country has been changed.
Yes.
Rayoden cannot change the scope of the country. It fucking exists, right? It just is already there.
You mean like the landscape of the country?
Please let me finish.
I am asking questions because I don't...
The country changed 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Rayoden, from the top of the mountain, realizes that the aeon of the city is not changed to match the country.
Yeah, so he has to
he runs down and he adds the chasm to the city of Elantris. Not to the country. He doesn't change the country at all. It has already been changed.
I'm not saying he's changing the country.
Please, I promise you this will make sense when I get to the end of this. He changes the city aeon of Elantris, which then turns their skin silver, which means that until the city of Elantris existed in the first place, their skin was not silver. So they had to... How is that no? Adding the chasm to the city aeon is what makes their skin silver in the book. We watch it happen. Meaning that prior to Elantris existing as a city, that aeon that he is adding to, their skin was not silver. So the magic of Elantris was not making them silver Elantrians until they built the city.
You are like jumping to that conclusion, but there is no proof. Because what matters is adding the chasm to the base aeon.
I know! Which means that they can't have been silver before the fucking aeon existed. Is what I am saying.
Why?
Because...
So you're saying that you have to have the city aeon to amplify the power to make Elantrians. But the problem is...
Because otherwise the book doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, but if you say
take away that
the book
base
makes
logic,
no sense. No, the book makes no sense because then people can't draw aeons. Only the Elantrians can draw aeons. So you saying that they can only exist after Elantris is built
No. I'm saying that before Elantris was built, the Sheod would have made them black skin, no hair Elantrians. But you need the city aeon to be complete for them to be silver skinned because that's what happens in the book. That's the plot of the novel.
That literally doesn't make any sense at all.
It is the literal plot of the book that we read is that they cannot be silver skinned until the city aeon is complete with the country. That's the plot of the book. That's what happens in the novel.
He doesn't fix the shape of the city aeon on top.
Yes, he does.
He fixes the base aeon at the bottom and adds the chasm to it because you cannot have the city aeon without the country aeon. And the base for every single aeon we learn. The base for it is the 3 lines, right?
Right? You're saying that there's 2 aeons under Elantris, but there isn't. There's 1 aeon. It is all 1 aeon. Elantris is an aeon.
Yes.
And he adds the chasm to it and it fixes everything.
Yes.
Implying that before that aeon existed, that aeon had to be drawn by a black splotchy skinned Elantrian who had to figure this fucking out somehow.
But why does that make...
Because they can't have the silver skin until the amplification exists.
I don't know how you are drawing that conclusion in the slightest.
If the chasm breaking that aeon made them revert to this half Sheod form, then that implies that before that aeon existed, the black Sheod form came first.
No, because
Because somebody had to be an Elantrian to draw aeons.
If it was the city aeon of the 4 circles or whatever that had changed, like if the city of Elantris had changed shape, I would understand what you were trying to say. But it's not the city aeon that changes shape, it is the country aeon.
There is not 2 aeons. The city is part of the...
They make 1 aeon.
They are 1 aeon, and once the chasm is added to it, their skin goes silver, which implies that before that aeon existed, their skin was not silver. That is all I'm saying. Yes, it does! It actually does. Breaking that aeon, the effects of that aeon no longer having power is that their skin is no longer silver, which means that before that aeon existed, when that power did not exist because that aeon did not exist, someone had to draw that aeon and they can't have had silver skin because that aeon gives them silver skin. Because that aeon gives them silver skin. That is the plot of the book.
No.
That is the plot of the novel that we just read.
The city aeon gives them silver skin, not the country aeon. Not the country aeon.
But somebody had to draw the country aeon.
Yes.
And that person can't have had silver skin.
Okay, but it doesn't mean that they were like Sheoded, like disgusting person. You are jumping.
Dilaf has a wife? Arzu, what?
Yeah, Dilaf's wife is the one who had palsy, who was taken and then was
that
made
person.
into shared because it was drawn incorrectly. Yeah. So you cannot have an Aeon without the country as the base. Like, you literally cannot.
We have to stop having this conversation. We're not getting anywhere.
It makes total sense to me. I have no idea what's going on in your head.
The plot of the book is that this Aeon has to function properly for them to have the silver skin. Which implies that somebody had to be able to draw Aeons before the silver skin existed. That is just that Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that they were Sheoded.
What else would they have looked like then?
Like, they were probably normal people, and then they added the amplifier on top, which made them godlike.
No, because that implies that you can use Aeons without being an Elantrian, which breaks everything else about the world.
But only the Aeonic people
The Sheod has to predate the Aeons.
No, but only Aeonic people can become Elantrians. So there has to be some kind of prerequisite that's not Sheod.
Why? Why can't it just be the Sheod? Why are you making it more complicated? The Sheod
What do you mean more complicated?
The Sheod predating the Sheod predating the use of Aeons makes way more sense than saying that there used to be a different metric for being able to use Aeons that doesn't exist anymore. When there's a perfectly valid thing that already exists in the world that explains it. You're creating a new metric for using Aeons, and all I'm saying is that the Sheod predates them being Elantrians.
Yeah, that is jumping to a conclusion.
It's
that
not. You're jumping
understand.
to a conclusion. You're inventing something. I'm saying
that
the logical way that this works is that there was the Aeonic bloodline. People of the Aeonic bloodline got randomly sick, and it created these weird monstrosities that were probably looked down upon.
And
one of those people,
sick person just like decided to draw the country.
They're fucking immortal. Yeah, they figured some magic out.
I'm gonna draw a stick in the sand and very big, make big city. Oh wow, we're shiny.
You know what I'm actually willing to bet that it is? I'm actually willing to bet that this is the explanation. In the beginning of Arlon, people of the Aeonic bloodline were getting Sheoded regularly, right? They would get sick. They viewed it as just like a plague. It was an unfortunate thing. Those people died. It sucked. One day, the Sheod hit a cartographer who happened to be drawing a map of Arlon, literally, and it created magic. Because he was drawing the shape of the country and magic happened and he went, oh fuck. He continued to draw the country because that was his job. He was a cartographer who got Sheoded and invented the magic system just because it happened to be related to his profession, which was drawing maps. And I'm not joking. That is the most logical way that this magic system exists.
I feel like if you caught the plague, you would be killed. Yeah. Because people would think you're contagious.
And so he ran off into the woods and kept doing what he loved. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. It is the only way this world makes sense to me is if it was a cartographer who got Sheoded and then invented Elantris.
Or Joseph Smith came down with the tablet.
I almost just spit gamer subs on all of our technology.
I
had to run away from our desk.
I timed that very intentionally.
I almost just spewed water everywhere.
Johnny Coleman.
I love you so much.
Me too. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Malfunctioning amplifier is different than no amplifier. Maybe before the amplifier, they just had fairy skin. Yeah, maybe. Judah, thank you as well for that super chat. The Ars Arcanum might help. Yeah, maybe all of our questions will be answered. We shall see. I don't know. I'm not sure. Blue Sun, thank you for that super chat. Maybe they were silver before the city, or at least had Aeon Door, but the city buff made them stronger and got linked to the transformation, so you have no buff, full buff, and half buff equals red. And that's the thing is, you know what? I don't,
oh my god.
I don't know.
The Pied
I'm
Piper
glad
guy.
he didn't choke. That's all.
Thank you for that, for joining the Nargs. And
Welcome
yes,
back
in
to
the
my
real
notes.
world of non-magical science, the egg came before the chicken. All chickens come from eggs, and not all eggs come from chickens. That is true.
Wow. Okay.
The egg definitely comes before the chicken, and the fact that anyone thinks that it's a conversation there's no conversation. The egg came before the chicken.
I don't know how that works,
And
but sure.
Because of how evolution works, like the chicken was born from something that we wouldn't consider a chicken, but was very close to being a chicken.
So that would mean the chicken came first because it's the first chicken to be. So it emerged.
Yeah, but it had to come out of an egg. The
Okay.
egg came first. Eggs predate chickens because dinosaurs laid eggs. And then over time, dinosaurs evolved into chickens. But the egg comes first. Like, egg predates chicken by probably 2 million years.
Okay. All right.
Like, eggs predate chickens by so much of the
What if
history
the
of the Earth.
dinosaurs evolved from chickens, though?
That would be wild. that would be crazy. Because there is no, like, recorded thing that was evolved out of and then back into. But if we could prove that evolution pushed a species away to something else and then back to that original thing, that would break scientists' brains.
You're welcome. Yes, Pied Piper guy. Thank you for that. That was.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I knocked you out of your seat.
My favorite thing
so
about
strong.
my favorite thing about the Cosmere is that Brandon Sanderson is just giving planets to all of his characters, much like he thinks God gives planets to Mormons.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Kelsey's got a planet. Raiden's got a planet.
Do you think when Brandon Sanderson dies and God gives him his planet in the cosmos, he'll be disappointed because it's only one planet? And he's like, I created more than this. Like,
where are my planets?
I created more interesting planets than you did, God. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Which came first, the platypus or the platypus egg? The egg. Eggs, guys. The first platypus was born out of a platypus egg from an animal that would have been like a platypus. That's just how evolution works. I don't know how this is even a thing that people still talk about because it is the most obvious scientific concept in the world, and people treat it like it's this philosophical debate.
Well, that's
and
rude.
it's not.
That's
like
rude.
it just isn't.
I agree. I disagree. It is not obvious. For the stupid people over here, it's not obvious. I'm sorry.
But in order for the egg...
Oh, I understand your explanation of it. But you saying it's obvious is maybe a little bit harsh for us that would not have thought it was
I don't mean
obvious.
to people who don't engage in the debate about it. But if your job is to be a philosopher who engages in the debate on this chicken and the egg, and your position is it could be either, that is truly an insane position to take professionally. Your job isn't to think about this, so why would you think about it? Like, if you spent time considering it, you would be like, oh, you get to that conclusion.
But what if a chicken was born from like a mammal? It was not
then
an egg.
The entirety of the way our entire planet works would fundamentally be untrue, and we would have to rewrite all of our understanding of the world.
Before.
Yes, that would be truly crazy. That would be...
The Earth is round.
That would be insane. That would break all of our understanding of evolution, which would make us reconsider everything about our society.
I'm just playing like 4D chess, you know?
Hush says, what about further back step? Surely the organism came first and evolved to lay eggs. Yes, there were organisms that evolved to lay eggs that are not chickens, but they're not chickens. They're other things.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, single cell organisms predate eggs. 1000%.
Yeah.
In fact, multi-cell organisms. There were many multi-cell organisms before there were eggs.
So then what is your definition of an egg?
It's an egg. It's an egg.
It does matter. Okay, anyways, Elantris, the book that we're talking about. Okay. Anyways. Like,
where were we in the book?
I
have no idea. We argued about Elantris magic for like 20 minutes. What are we talking about?
We were talking because Sereni was like,
Kian
it's the shape of the world.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And no one's noticed that
Then
before.
she gets cured. And she's like, oh, I can actually help better from the city. So peace out, motherfuckers. And then Thug Life starts playing and she backs off.
You're very funny today. You're quick.
I've just used that joke a few times in the last month, so I'm recycling it.
It's all comedy's timing, babe.
You're welcome.
Yes. Brandon immediately is like, Raven did this, and everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Serena goes back home and is like, what's up, Raven? And he's like, I fixed you. And she's like, fuck off. You didn't do shit, you dumb bitch.
I will try to fix you.
And he's like, hey, your dad sold out. And she's like, no, he didn't. And then she goes talks to her dad and she's like, fuck, Dad. You are so stupid. You are a goddamn moron.
You're a disgrace of a king.
Maybe your older brother should be king?
Should be king.
How is Serena 25 never thought about the fact that her uncle is older than her father and it's weird that her father's king? She seems floored by this realization. Like, she's like, oh,
I don't know if she knew.
You are older than him. That's wild.
I don't know. No, she doesn't know that. I think as a kid, she just knows that they're brothers. I don't actually think she knows who's older and who's not. Like, it's just, like, never come up. What?
This book is wild.
When I was, like, little, I didn't know if my dad was younger than my aunts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or...
Oh, I always knew that my mom was the oldest.
Autism.
Well, no, but she also
I need to order everything.
She also calls him, like, my younger brother.
Oh, see, yeah, my dad never did that.
Yeah.
It was just my sister.
Linus, thank you for that super chat. Gonna be a long one today. No, we have an hour. We'll get through it. We only have like 12 more chapters.
Uncle Iroh was Fire Lord and he was older than Osai.
Yeah. But there's like a really important plot reason for that, and everybody's aware of it in that world. Serena being 25 and like finding out that her father is the younger brother, and that never having come up in court before is really weird. It's just really weird. This reveal to me was one of those things where I was like, what do you mean you didn't know this already?
Yeah.
What kind of a secret country is Teod where you guys don't talk about your ages?
It's rude. You don't talk about your age.
No, you don't ask a woman her age. That's rude.
You have to buy
somebody dinner. Which is why I don't know how old you are. Like, I really hope you're 18. Like, I'm just like, fingers crossed praying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to look at our wedding certificate because it has her birthday on it. I don't know how old my wife is.
You're only allowed to know the day and the month. You're not allowed to know the year.
Yeah, there are a lot of wild reveals in the book. Cybus, there are some wild reveals in this book. And this was one of those ones that was like weird. I was like, you didn't know your... How did you not... This also... part of my issue with it is that this happened in her lifetime.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how...
Like, if it had been her,
this doesn't predate your birth.
Grandfather and her, like, granduncle or whatever, sure, yeah.
This is just one of those wild things where I'm like, it would be like...
Don't think about it.
My parents got divorced when I was 4.5.
Yeah.
I remember it enough. I know that it would be like finding out now, like, truths about that I was there for, that I, like, had somehow, like...
I have, like, no memories from childhood.
But Lazarel's right. Everything happens 10 years ago, and no one remembers it.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Which is fair. Although Raoden does have the memory of him going to Elantris before that. So that's the only thing that people remember.
This was just another one of those reveals. Like, all of the key...
The fact that you remember things from age of 4 is wild to me.
Oh, yeah. There was a whole, like, custody thing. I remember all of it. The suitcase. The suitcase became a very big part of my life because I would like have to pack my own suitcase. My parents should have figured out that I was autistic much earlier. When I would have an anxiety attack if I didn't pack the suitcase that I took from my mom to my dad's and back. Mm-hmm. Because I had to know that I had everything with me because I'm autistic. Really, I also took a test when I was 6. That was like for like a gifted and talented program that I fucking aced, and they were like, he needs to be in a special program, and then the program didn't get enough funding because there were only 15 kids instead of 16, so I had to go to regular school.
Yep.
I didn't get diagnosed until I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
19, right before I turned 19.
I mean, to be fair,
how did it take so long?
To be fair, I also didn't get diagnosed until I was in high school because my mom just didn't want to know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, my mom had her suspicions and was like, nope.
Yeah.
But hey, that's life.
Philip says, I'm starting to realize Elantris would make a lot more sense if you just made everything take twice as long. 1,000%. You know what? Actually, yes. Because I would buy that Serene doesn't remember Elantris if it fell when she was 5. But I don't buy that it's so crazy when it fell when she was 15.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because like
it is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't... Yeah, there's a lot of things that are super weird about this book.
Yeah.
That stem from the 10-year gap.
Yeah, I agree.
Raoden should remember Elantris really well. He was like 12.
Yeah, but his dad was like super sus of it. So,
I don't know.
I'm willing to forgive him just because of that whole scenario, but not really anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway.
So yeah, Serena moves into Kian's house, and she's like, "I'm not gonna let Arelon also fall to Shudareth."
Can I say one thing that I was really disappointed in the second half of this book?
What?
Not a lot of Casey. She kind of gets forgotten, and like,
yeah,
Casey is rad, and I wanted more from her, and I missed her.
That's fair. Yeah. Hrathen's like, gonna go see the king, and Tellery's like, you're gonna have to wait. I'm so sorry. There's so many things.
He's too busy doing drugs.
So many people want to see me, and you're just not top of the list, my man.
Every time I pictured this scene, it was like Tellery like on like a bunch of silk pillows with a hookah and no shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That checks out.
Anyway, he goes in there as Gjorn, and he goes in and talks to Tellery, and Tellery's like, I sent my own messenger to Wyrn because I want to be a Gjorn too.
Me, yeah, we're gonna be besties.
And Hrathen's like, you idiot. And little do we know, none of this matters.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
None of it.
It's hard to talk about this book because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, this plot like straight up doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This gets forgotten so quickly because it's just a fight at the end.
Yeah.
And none of this like political movement actually influences that fight at all.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Anyways, Raoden thinks about the chasm being...
You have to say Raoden because Raoden is a character from a video game and they're different things.
I thought I said Raoden.
If you say Raoden, I'm thinking like pop pop poopity pop pop.
I didn't say Raiden. I said Raoden.
Okay.
Raoden. Raoden Galadin. They're chilling and Raoden's like, oh wait, the chasm. And it works, and they light the whole place on fire.
Raiden as the Elantris protagonist would be wild. It would be. Yeah, they light the he uses the door. He figures it out. He adds the chasm, and then he casts Fireball without asking how big the room was.
He fully fucking cast Fireball.
This was our first audiobook reaction, so you can see us react to this moment.
And then he's like, the pain will bother me no more. And I'm like, well, I'm happy that you figured that out somehow.
Oh, yeah. He just assumes.
Yeah. Like, I believe that you feel that way.
I do like that he has been blue-balled, and now that he has come, he is no longer blue-balled, and so the pain won't bother him anymore. He learned how to masturbate.
Except that blue balls is a myth, so...
Yeah, but so is this book.
The patriarchy.
Him being like the one big fireball, and then he's like, oh no, it was the buildup of all the edging of me drawing Aeons forever. But now we've got now the door's still closed, kind of, but not really fully.
It's still not working properly. There's something wrong.
But only healing is an issue, and
Yeah.
But there's enough power for him to create illusions. So it is time to lie to Serena again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for round 4 of Raoden cannot be honest with his fucking wife. This whole book is just different scenarios for Raoden to lie to his wife.
Yeah.
That's Elantris. Many different ways a man can lie to his wife. That's what the book is.
I'll take magical disguises for 500.
He literally creates a whole identity solely to lie to his wife.
That is a, stereotype caricature. Like, Galadin should be so offended.
Puts on blackface. He just fucking, goes full minstrel here and blackfaces his way into a party.
Well, no.
Oh my god, this is White Chicks. Him and Galadon watch White Chicks and they're like, let's just do that. We'll just be stereotypical blonde bimbos.
Oh, I've never seen White Chicks. I only saw Hot Chicks, I think.
Wait, Hot Chick with fucking oh my god, that movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's where they actually switch bodies. No, White Chicks is the Wayans brothers do whiteface. Have you never seen oh my god?
I've seen the pictures of it. Yeah.
Yeah. White Chick.
No, I know what it looks like.
Honestly, ahead of its time. I shouldn't say that. I have not seen that movie in forever. It might not have aged well. I really don't know. I do remember really, really thinking it was The reverse of blackface at the time felt really revolutionary. I don't know how that movie aged because a lot of movies from that time period did not age well.
Here's the thing. iGage says at least he has a flaw, which you said he didn't earlier. It would be a flaw if, like, Sereni was, like, mad about it, but she's like, yeah, lie to me. I like it.
Ember Eyes says, how would the plot change if he told her he was who he was when she was an Elantris? It wouldn't.
It wouldn't, yeah.
There would be one time, there would be one conversation that would change because she would go, hey, I'm glad you got out. We're working together now. Instead of him saying, you ignored my letter to come talk to me because I was about to tell you the truth.
He did try to tell her the truth, and she's literally, like, running away from him. So, you know, I want to give Raiden some credit there.
Yeah, he says that he was trying to be honest with her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wanted to tell you.
Considering everything he says is lies, I don't know if I believe him, but sure.
Well, I feel like if Sereni was like, I wasn't actually running away from you, she would have felt weirder about it, but she was like, oh, yeah, no, I was actively trying to avoid anything to do with you, so. Oh,
I know, because Sereni is kind of the worst in a weird way.
Yeah. I don't know, not the worst, but Quinshot, welcome to the nerd table. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Quinshot. Elgage says at least he has a flaw, which he said he didn't earlier.
I literally said that, which is what started this conversation.
What is wrong with me today? I'm falling apart.
You just don't listen to your wife.
I do.
Guys, this is proof. Nerdy doesn't listen to me. I just talk and talk.
Which is so funny because when we're not on camera, you don't, and I'm desperately trying to get you to talk. I'm always like, what are you thinking about? What's going on in there?
It's because my brain works on overdrive for book club and then shuts down afterwards.
And then you don't talk to me for the rest of the day.
I'm like, no thoughts.
I'm not used to you talking to me. I think that's what it is. And so when you do, I'm like, oh my god, there's so much information.
God damn it.
Come on. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just today's book club is just unhinged. It's fine. Oh, you can only hear my words. If I say someone else's words, it just doesn't.
I think what happens is we're both reading at the same time, and I can't hear you when I'm reading. What I can't, I literally, like, if I'm watching, like, a YouTube video and you try and talk to me, I have to pause it and, like, start from the beginning. I missed you in the split.
And yet, you can't just watch a YouTube video. You also have to play a video game and listen to Critical Role at the same time. Because
those are not important, but what you say is important to me.
Aww.
Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying that to be cute. I mean that literally. Like, yeah. If I'm trying to, like, work on something, I need distractions so that I don't lose interest in the thing I'm working on.
I know.
But if you're talking, I want to pay attention to what you have to say. Anyway, the point is,
nailed it.
Even though people who watch our videos are like, yeah, but why do you talk over her so often? Fair criticism, honestly.
That's because to address that very briefly, we have like a rhythm.
Have to address that.
No, we have like a rhythm. Like you can tell. It's honestly rare that you actually interrupt a thought that I'm having. You jump in when you know that like the wall has gone up. Yeah, that I've like lost steam. And so it kind of looks from the outside like you're interrupting me, but I'm like, oh, thank God he jumped in there because I had lost the plot. Like,
because I know when you're gonna sit there and wait for the next word to come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my favorite thing when we're having a conversation and I actually need you to have a thought and I'm sitting there just like in the middle of your sentence waiting for you, and then you start a new sentence because you forgot that you were in the middle of a sentence, and then I never get the important information that I needed.
Yeah.
Elgage says, let's address it at length. We need more tangents. So when Claris and I started dating, I realized really early on that her version of ADHD... So anyway, chapter 50...
No, now you have to... What is this thought?
50.
You can't fucking throw me under the bus like that.
Kalu is, much like Justin Trudeau at a Halloween party, is our main character in Brownface. Oh, my God. What? If he didn't want to be mocked about it forever, he shouldn't have done brownface. I don't know what to tell you. Just because Justin Trudeau and I are more similar in our political leanings than not, does not mean that I'm going to let it go that the dude did fucking brownface and wore a fucking turban for Halloween.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, that was before Sam Riegel did blackface, so, like, you know, there was...
I don't know that it was. I think they might have been around the same time. Yeah, and I would also make that joke about Sam Riegel.
Justin Trudeau's was, like, almost a decade earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It's, like, not good. Don't do it. God damn it.
Coinshot says his wife wants to know what lip gloss you're using.
This one is the Sephora brand called Glossed. Wait, I'm gonna do the YouTuber thing. Ooh, yeah. So that the camera can focus on it. Love it.
So, this show, what is this show for podcast listeners today? This one has been a real mess.
Sorry. Accept my sincerest apologies.
People
please.
in the car probably going back 30 seconds like, did I miss something? Or are they just losing their minds?
No, they're just unhinged. Unhinged.
Oh, man. I do kind of feel like I've slowly been going crazy in this room with these lights on. I had a really unhinged reaction to One Piece yesterday where I just started yelling randomly about nothing. And I literally went, I don't know. Today's Missy Mountain ad. I can't wait to go back and watch it because I don't know what happened.
It was a fever dream.
None of that was pre-planned. It just
never
started
is.
to come out of me.
It never is. We don't do pre-planning. There is no planning at the Nerdy Nightly. We hit record, we hit go live, and we fucking talk out of our asses for 3 hours. All right? I'm being honest with you.
It's true. It is unfortunately true.
Outdoor book club. Oh my god.
No, because I'll get locked out.
No, I mean, like, we should do a book club, like... Here's the thing, having like Wi-Fi for it would be kind of tough, but if we did like a picnic like book club,
we could literally run the cable outside and do it.
We have a very long cable actually.
Yeah, we would need microphones, but
that sounds kind of nice. We have the Shores.
Okay, what are we doing?
Anyways,
we meet Kalu. Kalu is like hitting on Sereni and she hates him and it's very funny.
Yes, she
It
hates
is
him.
funny even though it is like
she fucking stabs him with her sword.
In the face.
Fight. Yeah.
In the face. If she'd missed a little bit, he loses his eye. Sereni is not a good person. Sereni's like, I think you're lying to me, so I'm going to stab you in the face. Yeah. I'm going to use my extra sharp swords to stab you to prove that you're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
Like, when I was reading the book, I was like, I think I like Sereni. Now that we're talking about the book, I think I hate this woman.
But Raiden loves her.
I know, Raiden's but she's like, wow, not a good human.
Strong woman who wants to stab me? Get her a strap on.
No, but like the more we talk about this book, the more I'm like, oh, maybe there's a reason Sereni's single. And it's because her idea of how to prove someone's a liar is to stab them.
Yeah, she's mommy. You know, she is mother. A lot of men like that. I don't know what
mother means in this situation. AMV fan, usually that means coddling.
Thank you
for that super chat.
Mother is now like mommy in like the step on me vibes.
I took a nap for 30 minutes and I don't feel like I missed anything.
Fair. You know what? That is absolutely
oh, fucking roasted.
No.
Oh my clothes are on fire.
You did miss us screaming at one another, so you should definitely go back and watch that actually. Because Nerdy is wrong, and I cannot wait for him to learn it.
I just love that you're like, no, it's not your logical argument. It is my assumption where I just invent a wholly other thing.
Yeah, you're just assuming that they were shaded.
But mine is based on the book, and yours is like, I'm just going to invent something completely new.
Well, yeah,
that doesn't exist
mentioned
in the book.
It's never like before the Elantrians were silver skinned.
My thing totally makes sense. Mine is like because this then this. Yours is like, oh no, they just invented Aeons first magically without the Elantris and then became Elantrians magically another way.
Hrathen goes to market, and goes wee all the way home. I did not think that was going to be that funny, but I think this is a representation of Dirty's mental state at the moment. Yeah.
Right, goes to market goes wee all the way home is.
That's, I mean, kind of. This is our workout plan, actually, is just unhinged book club and laughing.
Oh, wow. Oh, I have to read a whole essay at the end of this.
You do, yeah.
I'm so
we better
sweaty.
Speed it up.
You talk. I'm going to go change my shirt. I'm so sweaty.
We even turned off the heat. I was like, it's going to get warm in here today. I knew it was gonna happen. So yeah, Hrathen learns that Wyrn obviously was like, fuck you, Telria, I'm not gonna make you a Gjorn. That's not how this like works. But like, he's not too mad about it, which should kind of be suspicious. But Hrathen is not suspicious of anybody. I mean, he's suspicious of fucking Dilaf, but like not suspicious enough for what happens. Like the dude is a walking red flag. I don't know. I would have looked into that a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, he sees. This is where he finds Dilaf, who then is like, haha, you fucking failed. And Hrathen is like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, my dude. And doesn't do anything about it. Again, nice shirt.
Thank you.
It's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Hrathen sees Dilaf in the market, and Dilaf is like, fuck you, you're gonna fail, and then leaves. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, and
okay.
this is where we start to realize that Dilaf, I don't know. We'll get to it. Maybe. Or we'll just skip it because it doesn't matter.
See, Talcum Malthor gets it. He wants Serenity to use him as a footstool. That's the vibe that Serenity gives off. And, most men in this world are not equipped to handle that, but Raoden is like, fucking peg me, mommy. That's the vibe we're getting. Yeah.
But I would much rather be pegged than stabbed in the face.
Sure, most people would. But, like, the energy is similar,
Chapter 52.
Mm-hmm.
We find Galadon, and he is stitching up Raoden's face. Raoden did drop the illusion because he had to in order for Galadon to see what he was stitching up. When we find out that Raoden is not as happy with Galadon stitching as he would be with Karadas, and Galadon's like, we could go back, Suli, and we could do did you think I wasn't going to drop the voice today?
Yeah, it's something.
My name's Galadon, and I am from Duladel, Suli.
I hate it. Suli is the worst. When it was Sul, I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Suli is
Suli.
No.
Should I? Oh, I'll read the essay in Galadon's voice.
No,
I'll do the
don't
entire
do that.
thing like this, Suli.
Please don't do that, for my sake.
Why not, Suli?
Oh my god. Only if we hit a stretch goal. Jesus Christ.
Royal, they bring some lamp mounts. I'm assuming they stole these from the Suli essay. Yeah, Suli.
No.
They like steal lamp mounts out of Elantris.
Yeah.
Which I was really surprised by. I would have figured that before they left the Elantrians in there, that anything of value would have been stripped out. But I guess there's a lot of wealth in Elantris.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't bother to get anything. They're just like, lock the door.
Yeah, and so they are set up with bank accounts. This all happens very quickly.
Yeah.
Like Royale apparently can get paperwork done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Money,
And
money will do that.
Because of this, Royale is like, hey, we have a super secret meeting that is technically treason and could get us all murdered. But I met you yesterday. I made a bank account for you. So why don't you come to my super secret meeting? And Raoden's like, my plan is working. And I was like, this is an insane plan.
Raoden also stores a handkerchief with brown makeup on it in case he has to pretend that he took his brown face off. Which is an insane sentence to say.
That's the thing that happens in this book. He literally has two outfits on that both have separate illusions on so that he can take off his jacket.
He's Shrek.
And then show brown makeup to be like, hey, I took off my black face.
Yeah.
How?
It's just a spray tan. You know what? It's like Trump's spray tan. It's more orange than it is brown.
How would you do this in live? I don't think you can adapt this book.
No.
This moment would have to be so different. It would have to be like the Mission Impossible peel.
Yeah, there'd have to be like he'd have to take off a full face. You know what I mean? Like a prosthetic kind of thing. Have a prop. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yep. So Kalu, Raoden, attends their super secret meeting, and Serene's like, I fucking hate this guy. Why is he here?
And despite the fact that everyone at this meeting are his best friends in the world,
nobody recognizes him.
He doesn't tell them that it's him.
Nope.
He doesn't just show up and be like, hey guys, it's me. You are all my best. He lies.
Me.
The only one that he plans to tell the truth to is Serene. Yeah. He actively plans to continue to lie to his best friends ever.
Yeah.
The people he trusts the most and who all deeply love him. His plan is to go to their secret meeting and continue to lie to them. All he has to do is go to Royale and be like, hey Royale, I love you. You're like a father to me. It's me, Raoden. I'm here to help. And all this bullshit doesn't happen. But instead, Royale dies because Raoden shows up and lies. Literally, because...
No.
If Raoden had come out...
them anyway.
No, if Raoden had come out with the thing
before Ahan left.
If Raoden had come out of Elantris with an illusion and said, hey, I'm like Hrathen, I was healed, I'm the rightful king, none of this happens. But because he wants to come out like a little shit and pretend that he is fucking Kalu and do brownface, Royale dies in the lie. But he could have just made a play for the throne. He can do an illusion of himself. He already proves that he can do an illusion of himself. Like, this whole plot happens because he decides to be a wild and crazy stereotype. Brownface kills.
Wow. All right, put that away.
Do you want your best friend in the world? Do you want your father to die? Brownface kills. I need you to understand this. If you do blackface, your father will die.
Okay, not his real dad, but like...
Your father figure will die. Being racist has consequences. Well, and those consequences are the death of a loved one.
You know what? That's probably what Brandon Sanderson was going for. That is the message here.
Oh, yes. He was saying that blackface kills. Okay.
Yeah. He was like, don't do this because then your father figure will get murdered and betrayed by one of his closer friends who's also his rival who like took it too far. You know what I mean?
I can get behind that message, Brandon. You and I are on the same page again.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And so Royale. Ahan is a character who I definitely remember his personality. He leaves.
His personality is that he is in opposition to Royale at every single turn, and that is the only thing about him.
They are the what were those two women's names from Wheel of Time?
The sisters?
No. The political rivals in the Aes Sedai.
Oh, Lelaine and
yeah, they're the Lelaine and Ramonda of this book.
Yeah.
So Ahan leaves, and because they discuss killing Telri, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to get in on murder."
Yeah.
And then he brings back the police, and the police stab Royale, and Royale dies, and Raoden tries to heal him, but he doesn't know there's this whole thing in the book about how the Aeons have like very specific modifiers. If you know the modifiers, you can do a lot of really cool stuff, but you don't know if the modifiers, like healing is a really general thing, and you need to know the modifiers to fix like specific organs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool. It honestly is really interesting. I wish that it like came into play a little bit more, but it's great.
Well, I also do love that this guy dies, and Raoden goes and learns all of the modifiers right away in like 7 hours. I was like, damn.
Yeah. He speed reads like Barry Allen.
Fast learner.
And so Royale dies.
He does the short circuit number 5 thing where he's like, next.
And then Raoden reveals himself, and so the guards are like, oh fuck, like that's maybe our king. We're confused. We're gonna figure this out tomorrow.
Yeah.
In part 3. Chapter 54, Hrathen finds out that Royale has been executed, and also finds out that Raoden has returned. And he's like, oh, Serene, I love her, and she's trying to fuck with me, but I'm deeply in love with that woman.
For some reason, because I've talked to her twice.
And he goes back to Telri, and Telri's like, you have to wait. And then he hears screaming inside, and then he opens the door, and Eondel kills Telri.
Just is like, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to just take matters into my own hands.
And then Eondel dies.
They both die, honestly. Everyone's dead. It's a very bad, no good day for everybody.
Yeah, and so Hrathen is like, oh, fuck, everything's getting out of control. The consequences of my actions.
Oh my gosh, where?
It's crazy. Chapter 55, Raoden and Serene are... Raoden, now revealed to Serene, the truth has come out, and the lies...
It's your husband.
It is time for them to have a conversation about the fact that Raoden thinks that the best way to handle situations is to lie constantly. No, I'm so kidding. They're cuddling, and they're literally like, wait, but maybe our marriage isn't real. And Raoden's like, then we should make it real. And she's like, yes, that's what I want. Immediately upon finding out that Royale has died, a man that I was going to marry 6 days ago, and that you've been lying to me the entire time that I've known you in person, let's get married tomorrow. And
look, there's the corpses of our friends.
Like, Royale is downstairs, not even cold, and they're like cuddling up on the roof like, we have to make sure that our marriage contract is valid.
Yep, pretty much. Priorities. Yep. Actually, explains like that what Aendil did. Basically, it's like, so King is dead, Aendil's dead, all these people are dead. It's very bad, no good. Oh, what the fuck are we gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Then they notice that the guards start coming towards them. A group of guards and Kian is like, barricade the doors, don't let them in, set the traps. And they're like, no, wait, like 5 minutes.
Let's talk to them.
Wait, like 5 minutes.
And they, because they can see all this through he creates like a fucking like telescope.
Pretty much.
A magic telescope.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, we need a king. Can you be our prince, king person again? And he's like, wow, yeah, of course they can do that.
Brandon's
no
like, that's
what I'm
great.
here for.
I did not realize how easy it was going to be to turn all this around.
So they're going to get married. He's going to be crowned. And then they get to is it the wedding first or the crowning ceremony first? The crowning ceremony. It's the crowning ceremony, and Dilaf can do magic and takes away the disguise. Ooh.
Yes. In chapter 56 out of 62, we find out that there's a whole other magic system that has never been brought up before. Yep. Even though the thing about Elantris that made Elantris the crazy thing in this world is that they were the only magic system.
But Serena is like, hey, y'all, shut the fuck up. Who cares if your king is ugly?
Yeah.
You like him, right? We like him. He's better than his dad.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like, for the majority of human history, kings were ugly.
Yeah.
And had syphilis. And so they actually kind of looked like Elantris.
It's what happens when inbreeding, you know?
Yeah, King George, not hot. King George wives? You seen Six the musical?
6.
That Catherine Howard?
Tonight we're gonna do ourselves justice.
Pretty hot. Yeah, and so she like kneels, and then everyone else is like.
Except she's like 14, so you can't say that.
No, she's 14 when she fucks the first guy, but she's like older by the king. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she dies at 18. Like, gets beheaded.
King Henry, thank you. Henry VIII.
Oh, yeah, Henry VIII. No, I think that...
I don't fucking care about the monarchy. They don't... And you know what? No, King George. I'm not going to get your name right, you fuck.
Fuck you. You know, I think that she died before, like, by the time she was 18, she got beheaded for adultery or whatever.
I'm mostly just talking about the actresses that play her in the Broadway show. I don't know what the actual woman looked like.
Go see the Broadway show. It's, fantastic. Or if you're in Toronto, the show is here, and it's great. It's a good time. Love the music. It's a great workout playlist. Anyways,
except for Heart of Stone.
So yeah, Serene is like, it's fine that he's an Elantrian, no problem.
And everyone is like, honestly, like, we're just tired of new kings. Let's just go along with this. We don't want any more of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And so Dilaf is like, well, fuck, that was like my whole plan.
Yeah, he's like a little upset about it.
Was that on the whole time?
No, you pressed it. You grabbed. What did you grab?
I don't know.
Because I saw the like mic thing pop up.
That was weird.
You touched something and it started playing a thing. Sorry about that, y'all.
Anyway.
Sorry, podcast listeners.
I don't think they heard it.
Oh, did it not?
Because the desktop audio is not playing.
Oh, well, bless. Just us. Then.
So where are we at? So he's king.
He's king and he's Elantrian, and Hrathen is like kind of sad because he loves Serene.
Yeah.
For some reason. He follows Dilaf. And Dilaf kind of like gives him shit for some... He's like, wow, you got distracted by the tall lady.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Where the fuck did that come from? If you say so. So yeah, Dilaf doesn't go back to the chapel. He like goes back to the market where suddenly super soldiers appear. Because they've been hiding in the tents of the merchants.
We've been making a lot of jokes about this book. This second half is fun to read.
It was very fun.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
But it is very fun to read. And this was fun, but in like a dumb fun kind of way.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, we're fighting super monks.
I was like thoroughly enjoying myself, but it's just very funny to kind of like poke at it because it's like... Yeah.
Because here's the problem with the super monks to me, is that the super monks... predate Elantris going bad.
I think so, yeah.
No, they have to, because Dilaf has been here the whole time.
Dilaf's old, yeah.
And they, like the super monks go all the way back to Hrathen's childhood, when he met Dilaf before Dilaf was physically altered to look like he's Aeonic.
Oh, I just thought he was...
No. The plot of this book that that is revealed at the end is that they went through an experimentation process like 20 years ago. They have a magic where they can physically change what a person looks like.
Yeah. You get extra bones.
And they didn't think to just make them look like the king and then kill the king and replace them with a Fjordalman. They have the magic to do that. Fjordal having this level of magic is so fucking crazy to me because there's so many smart ways they could have done this, and instead they did the this is gonna be all jokes.
We're gonna
come up with the
so
most
funny. The history
Looney
of this
Tunes.
is gonna be hilarious. You know how people don't pay attention in church? This is gonna be so funny. It's gonna be enthralling. People are gonna love this shit. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the sitcom of the century.
The plot of this is wild. So decades ago, Hrathen was a child before Wyrn was turned. So at some point, Wyrn went to Dilaf and went, hey, I want you to undergo an experimental process of magic that's going to make you look like you're Ionic so that you can go to Erelon, spend 15, 20 years trying to convert the populace. At the end of that, when it looks like you're close to succeeding, we're going to show up with our super monks that we already have now because they don't have an army, and we're just going to wipe them out anyway, meaning that you don't have to do this. Like, the whole plan.
He was just kind of there. Because it's not like they go through different, leadership changes within that decade or anything like that. Dilaf doesn't really do anything. He just... listens to his dead wife's screams for revenge for a decade.
We're going to make you look Aeonic so that you can go fuck around in Arelon.
And they'll find out.
He has to know going in that the plan was always to just kill them at the end with the super monks.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a Sion. He needs Hrathen's Sion to talk to Wyrn. And so the old...
Right. Linus, thank you for that super chat. I always enjoyed the chapters themselves. Just wish there was 30 more chapters setting it all up so it's not just, oh, by the way, here's the thing. And I think we said this at the beginning. It feels like we missed a book. This feels like a book 2 in a lot of ways. Because, they just kind of throw shit at you at the end here. And you're like, okay, I guess so.
When he sent, Steve Zito says when he sent Dilaf, Elantrians were still around. So then what was Dilaf sent to do?
Well, maybe he was sent to infiltrate.
Literally, what was he sent to do?
Here's the thing. The plan should have been enacted as soon as Elantris fell. Wyrn should have been Elantris fell? Send in the super soldiers.
They're already at war? Send the super monks.
Yeah. It just... That instability feels like it... if Dilaf was already there when Elantris fell, that seems like the perfect power vacuum for Dilaf to instill somebody into the government here.
But he's also the Pope. And so they sent the Pope undercover. He's the head of everything. So how is he running anything? It's just...
He's not the Pope. He's the Pope's best
It's so
best
complicated
buddy.
and weird. No,
Wyrn
he's
is
the Pope.
Wyrn.
No, Wyrn is the head of the state, right?
Isn't that the Pope?
Well, I
Isn't
guess
it God
kind of.
the Pope? Isn't that how that works? I don't.
Yes. But in this, he's
a decon.
He's the head of the monastery. But it's like sending the principal undercover. You know what I mean? No, you send somebody else.
But anyone else, bones.
But the problem is that the person that you send to do this is a Gjorn. but because the Gjorn is being fucked with for some reason.
Yeah, they were nah.
This whole book is just to fuck with Gjorn Hrathen.
Yeah, it's an extended
but Hrathen's never did anything wrong.
Oh no,
Hrathen did in Duladel what he was supposed to.
He's on Pranked. They're actually filming this. This is reality TV for Fjordal.
They are Wyrn and Dilaf spend this whole book punishing Hrathen and fuck with him for succeeding at doing the exact thing that they asked him to do and doing it really well.
That's what I was confused about, because Hrathen's previous assignment was to make this other country fall, which he did with glowing 5 out of 5 stars. You know what I mean?
If at any point we were told that Wyrn and Dilaf were disappointed in his past actions, I could maybe get this more. But finding out that this whole book is them fucking with Hrathen after he did what they wanted him to do is so weird.
Yeah.
It's such a odd reason for your characters to be doing the things that they're doing is like, oh, no. We've been just fucking with you the whole time.
Yeah.
You didn't know because you would have assumed based on the exemplary performance that you showed in the past. You didn't know that her Word and I are just shitting in your mouth for 500 pages for no particular reason.
For fun. We were bored.
Why give Hrathen a 3-month timeline if you're attacking in 2 months? Why not just not send a Gjorn so that they don't get their hackles raised about Fjordell at all?
Couldn't tell you. Literally could not tell you.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
The plot of this book is so insane, but it's fun, and so you're like vibing with it, and then you're like, wait, but why are they doing this? It doesn't matter. So
Raiden wakes up and everybody's dying.
Yes.
And Dilaf, Dilaf does some crazy monk shit and takes Raiden out.
Yeah.
And, yep. Wait a second. Serene orders Hoyd? Oh, I didn't realize he came up in chapter 58.
Yeah, Hoyd is like...
Oh, I didn't even notice him
randomly
until the very end.
Hoyd is just here because we're going to find out later that the pools are portals between dimensions.
Yeah.
And
it's like a
Hoyd,
Halo ring.
This is like the beginning of
it's a Halo ring.
That's not what the rings in Halo are. Just not. That's not how Halo works at all.
I know. I've never played it.
There's no portals in Halo. Actually, that's not true. There are technically portals, but they're not. The Halo rings are not portals. They're weapons.
It's a wormhole.
Hoyd is just a common name. Yeah. I'm sure Hoyd is just a common name. That makes more sense than the fact that this is.
Well, apparently Mare is as well.
No, but Mare in Mistborn has 1 A.
Yeah.
And Mare in this book has 2 A's.
It's this fucking pronounced the same.
Mare. Anyway.
Mare.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, she goes. Kian. We reveal that Kian has a name. He was a pirate named Driok Crushthroat, which happened.
He was like, it was supposed to be Crushed Throat, and people just like ran with it, you know.
Why is this now playing?
I don't know. Stop that. He was like, people just misinterpreted my name. It's fine.
Kian's
B-plot.
backstory
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
The most. How did Serene not know this? That we have to move on from it because I could sit here for hours being like, I'm sorry, your uncle was a famous pirate whose name you know, but you don't know is your uncle somehow, even though he was a pirate against your father in your lifetime?
Yep.
What?
No idea.
How? I need this book. Brandon Sanderson, I need you to jump through the hoops of your own plot to explain to me how she could know his pirate name and that pirate went against her dad.
And are we watching the OC?
Somehow?
Is this Gossip Girl? Spoiler alert, Kian is Gossip Girl. No, actually it's Dilaf.
XOXO. But that's a problem too. Dan can't be the Gossip Girl. Like, if you really think about Gossip Girl going back to season 1, it can't be Dan.
But
it can't be Dan. And so the reveal that it's Dan at the end of the show totally breaks open all of the logic of the entire series.
I don't know who that is or what you're talking about.
Dan is revealed. Okay, so Dan is like the poor kid at their is like the scholarship kid at their private school.
Spoilers for Gossip Girl.
And so the entire show, you're like, wait, who is the Gossip Girl, right? Because they keep fucking with people through these letters.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the series, it's revealed that the whole time it was Dan, but it can't have been Dan. So they literally just make it Dan at the end of the series for no fucking reason.
Sure.
Anyway, I worked on 2 seasons of Gossip Girl and I had a great time on that set. Thank you to everyone. You paid my bills. Love
that.
I've never actually seen an episode of Gossip Girl, but I worked on a lot of them.
So wait, how do you know that it can't be Dan then if you've never watched an episode?
Because I've watched YouTube videos explaining to me why it can't be Dan, but I've never actually seen an episode of Gossip Girl. It's my preferred way to watch certain television series.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Should we do remember when we talked about doing a first and last episode? Only watching the first and only the last episode. We just watched Gossip Girl.
Did I work on the final? I don't think I worked on the finale.
Fill in the blanks.
I've always wanted to go and find some of the scenes that I did for that show because there's some ridiculous shit.
Some bangers in there.
Yeah. Some great nights.
Anyways, Hrathen is like, Dilaf, you can't massacre and kill people. That's bad. And he's like, fuck you. I don't give a shit. I do whatever I want in the name of Jadith.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
And so Dilaf is like, ha ha ha, we sent you here. I really don't know why they sent Rathan here. It makes no sense. But he's like, no, we're actually here to just kill everybody.
Yeah. So
and
Raiden's
like, I'm not down for this.
I did not sign up for this. This is not okay.
And I honestly think that if they had just told Rathan that this was the plan, he would have been fine with it. But I think that it's the fact that they lied, which is weird because like Rathan handles lying in a sane way and Sereni doesn't. Chapter 59, Raoden wakes up as a hostage.
Yeah.
And he's not able to heal because he's still in Elantris and the door is broken.
Yeah.
And so...
he's like, I will forever be dizzy. Oh no. And then is never dizzy again for the rest of the book.
Yeah. And so she...
like, legitimately, I was like, oh, this is going to be a huge problem. Raoden has like a concussion that's never going to heal. Yeah. He's dizzy. He literally says... he's gonna be, and then it never
comes up again. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And so, Dilaf impales Raoden with a sword.
Giggity.
And Raoden becomes a Hoid as he starts saying, I failed my love. I failed my love. I failed my love. I failed my love, Murph. It's about love, Murph.
Sick beat underneath that.
And so, the monks show up. It's a whole thing.
This is like as bad as like Daenerys forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Yeah. So then we get to like the chapters where shit gets like there's a lot of point of views.
Yes, we've moved away from the one chapter is this person, then the next, then the next. It is now all chapters are all people.
Yes.
Because shit gets fucking messy.
So the Elantrians are taken into Elantris to burn them.
Yeah.
And the Dakor monks.
But all the Aeonic people.
Well, all the Aeonic people in Kai. Which there's a whole country, but
but they're gonna start with the city.
They're not worried about that because the Dakor monks teleport to Teod.
Yep.
Because they can fucking teleport, a power that is introduced 60 chapters into this book.
Yep. Teleport.
And would have been so useful for so many things earlier in this book, but we didn't want to reveal that other magics existed.
Yeah, and we find out that Dilaf is the guy whose wife had palsy, who the Elantrians failed to heal.
Yeah.
And then she killed herself, and he's like trying to avenge her, which makes for a great religious leader.
And so, oh my god, so many random things happen.
Yeah.
Shuden suddenly pulls out, like, martial arts. And everyone is like, closed. Oh, you can do kung fu.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. With his eyes closed.
He does it one time, and it, like, it comes out of fucking nowhere. But he beats a super monk because he's good at martial arts.
Yeah.
Which...
He, like, does his warm-ups. This is actually an advertisement for, like, theater kids who forget to warm up before they dance. You want to warm up. Always, you got to warm up before a performance because it makes all the difference in the world.
I understand why you guys commissioned us to react to Chapter 61, but I wish we'd reacted to Chapter 60.
And then this happened.
I had more wild reactions to this chapter than 61.
Yeah.
It's the magic martial arts coming out of fucking nowhere really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's kind of glowing.
I was like, oh, he's Neo from the fucking Matrix. I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of glowing.
So there's a lot of fighting. They managed to run Raoden away to the pool at the top of Elantris.
Right, and then he trips into the pool.
And the chapter ends with him getting dropped into the pool.
And we're like, oh shit, Raoden's dead. No, he's not dead because you have to choose to go through the wormhole, okay? You can't just go through. You have to want to move on to purgatory. Which is what, honestly, the Lord Ruler's reign feels like. So, I don't know.
So, this is where this gets insane. So... Dilaf reveals in this chapter that he was actually the one who convinced Hrathen to leave the Dakor monastery.
Yes, but he doesn't know about Hrathen's special arm.
But he doesn't know about Hrathen's special arm, even though he's the head of the church?
Yes, he was the head of the monastery, but he forgot.
But he forgot that Hrathen had a magic arm.
Went through part of the transformation. Yeah, correct.
But, so, he's the reason... So they are punishing Hrathen for leaving the monastery, and Dilaf is the reason they left the monastery, so Dilaf is punishing him for a thing that he wanted him to do.
Yeah, he was like, you're too weak.
The bad guys in this book, man, their plan is wild!
I mean, he's literally insane.
Yeah.
He hears his wife screaming in his head. That's not a sane person, you know what I mean?
No, his wife hadn't died yet when he did this to Hrathen. That happened after. That was after he was turned Aeonic and moved to
Sure, if you say so.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Look at that super chat.
Nerdy, do we take a shot? Did you assume he was dead? You know what I did? I did actually assume he was dead.
Yeah, everyone take a shot.
And so chapter 61 does not actually start with Raoden, which I think is a ballsy choice. It starts with
Ballsy choice.
Dilaf cutting Sereni's throat open.
Yeah, so there's a reaction to this on the internet because so many of our wonderful members just gifted subscriptions. Arzu, like Blue, where there's so much green in this chat, you can actually go watch this reaction if you want. It was bonkers.
Hrathen is like, no, I love her.
Yeah.
And it's about love, Murph. And so he stops her.
If I can't love
so then Dilaf is like, well, fuck you, I'm going to stab you. So he goes to stab Hrathen in the chest, and he glances off. And Dilaf is like, but that armor is only ceremonial. And Hrathen's like, did you not think that I would have my armor perfectly recreated as a real armor? And I was like, no one would think that.
Nobody would think
Why
that.
would he assume that?
Why? There's literally no reason that he would think that you were wearing real armor all this time. Guys, Hrathen is fucking shredded. He is so fucking... He is jacked and he is lean. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I love it. I love this book. It's so wild and it doesn't make any sense, and yet it's so fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I figured that the armor was real.
Like, why would you assume it wasn't real? They're a war culture. Their whole culture is that they're trying to fight wars around the world. Of course it's real.
There's like an offhand comment in the first half of the book, right? That it's fake armor. Oh, it's ceremonial.
No, of course it's real armor. That's the only thing that makes sense. They are literally like constantly at war. They've been fighting war against the whole country or whole world to take over the whole world. He has real armor.
Anime workout method. Yeah, he puts on that armor. He does 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups. Anyways,
and so Aventio flees down an alley. Sereni and Hrathen flee down an alley. Everyone's getting chased by monks. We cut back. Raoden. Raoden's like, oh no, I didn't die because I didn't want to die.
I didn't want to die, and they're like, oh. Okay. He's like, but I'm on borrowed time. I gotta draw a line in the dirt real quick. And so, yeah.
He has what I have when I go swimming, which is just like when you're floating in water, you have clarity of thought.
And someone asks you to come?
What?
Someone asks you. That's what happens to him. They're like, come. And he's like, no. Is that what happens when you're floating in water?
No, he has clarity of thought, and he realizes he needs to draw the chasm onto the city Aeon because the
the
Elantris magic doesn't work if it's not complete.
Yeah, the water wants him to come, and Raoden's like, no, I'm edging, actually.
Oh, wait, no, that's come to another dimension.
Yeah.
It's not to death.
Yeah.
It's to the Mistborn universe.
Oh my god, and I've already forgotten his name. Who becomes God at the end of Mistborn?
Sazed.
It's Sazed.
It's Sazed.
Sazed is like, come here. We got some cool shit over here.
And he's like, no, I'm not coming yet. Oh. I'm edging. I'm proning.
That's not funny to anyone else.
It's funny to these people. They watch our Dragonlance show.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone, new Dragonlance tomorrow. It's pre-recorded. Sorry, we'll be live in 2 weeks.
Very fun. We'll be in chat. It's fine.
We'll be in chat.
Ow.
What? So then Raoden starts running down a mountain. I guess they're like fighting,
like sprinting, like leaps and bounds down a mountain. It's like an hour climb up, and he gets down in 60 seconds or less. He literally flies down the fucking mountain, and Karada and Galadin protect him while he draws the chasm.
Yeah, and so we have the like scene with Hrathen and Sereni. They're like hanging out, and Sereni's like they're hiding, and Sereni's like, "Why'd you do it?" And he's like, "'Cause Dilaf is evil."
Yeah.
And I need you to understand
that Jadith wants you
to control the whole planet, but he doesn't want to do that by killing people. He wants to do that by having their faith. And so I, Hrathen, am right about this.
But not true, because Hrathen was happy to bribe the nobles. Anyways, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Hrathen is a complicated individual, and I love him as a character. Really, really cool. And so he takes off his armor, and he's like, I can fight them better if I'm not wearing this. And Sereni holds it, is like, oh my god, this is heavy as shit. You wearing this the whole time, dude? The fuck is wrong? We weren't gonna kill you. And he's like, yeah. I don't think you understand how dangerous it is in Fjordal.
Sure.
So then at the base of the mountain, some Fjordal guards find them and start attacking them while he tries to draw the chasm line. I don't know why the Fjordal guards were here, but the plot needs to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Karada has to die. Unfortunately, she cannot survive.
We can't have too many women in these books. So the female characters have.
No, it's
there
because
can only be one
doesn't know how to
woman.
fence. Yeah, she doesn't know how
There
to
can only be one woman.
Only one.
And all the
That's
other
why
characters are
Eshin
men.
also dies.
Eshin, disemboweled. Karada, dead.
Dead.
There is a single woman that survives the end of this book.
Casey.
Does she survive?
I
What
don't
happens?
know.
She's
We
not
don't
even
see
brought
her.
up.
No, I think she's brought up in when they're all like hanging out and the kung fu happens. And Luco like tries to
The kung fu happens.
Yeah. What? That's what it is.
I'm excited for future Brandon Sanderson books where there's like multiple female characters. With like, arcs.
So Luco, like, their whole thing, they're about to fucking die. They set all the Elantrians on fire because they got all the bodies into a pile. That's on fire. And they're about to murder everybody. But Raiden finishes the chasm in time, so everything starts glowing. They become fancy pants magic users.
Yeah.
Luco gets, like, stabbed, but it's fine because Raiden shows up in time and learned all of the fucking things for healing. All of them. In, like I said, 7 hours or less.
He did 2 things after Royale died.
Yeah.
Learned all of those symbols and also
cuddled with
Sereni.
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
And so the silver-skinned Elantrians step out, and thankfully they know just enough Aeons to start attacking back, and they kill all the Fjordals.
Pew, pew.
They get to the roof of Elantris, the walls. And meanwhile, back in Teod, there's so much to talk about here, but like it's all just like blah, 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 blah. Hrathen is fighting. Hrathen ultimately dies, but isn't dead. Don't worry, he comes back again.
That was so weird. I have no idea what happened there. Also, Dilav, 50 people died to give him like magic immunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's convenient. I love that for him. I love that it's 50 people.
All of the magic at the end of this book comes out of fucking nowhere.
The Dakor monks are like, magic can't hurt us, and then they just get fucking murked because they're too overconfident.
And so then Ash shows up at the top of Elantris, where they've climbed to go look for where, I don't know. So anyway, they find Ash up there, and Raoden is like, wait, which direction is this in? And he starts drawing this super dangerous Aeon that started to draw earlier and was like, this is the most dangerous one because if you get it wrong by like a single step, you can die. And then Magic Autism Boy shows up and is like, I have media autism. Not real autism, which I have, but media autism.
Where I just know the numbers of things for some reason.
Or like in The Good Doctor, where he can like see how to do surgery and then do it perfectly. Or
Magic
Sheldon
autism.
Cooper's ability to have magic autism and be like the greatest scientist ever.
Yeah.
Magic Autism Boy shows up and is like,
it's
you want Teod? Oh, it's 1,194,682 steps. And they're like, well, actually, no, we need the docs. Get to the docs.
Like, it's 1 million.
Subtract 17 steps from my previous number.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's like, I don't know how I know that.
I don't know how I know that.
I was there as a baby, but...
That's crazy. But I'm just magically autistic.
He regrets it.
Brandon Sanderson regrets the Hollywood autism he did here. I'm glad he regrets it because this is like...
That's fair. This is the most like
Deus
Ex Machina random bullshit that comes out of nowhere moment.
Yeah, and I really did not like it.
There's a lot of moments that come out of nowhere, but this was like...
And this guy's not even a character earlier.
No!
Like, he literally is like a Hoid, and now he just is like... Yeah, the magic autism shows up, and just I was like, man. Like,
and look, I'm not gonna fault like Brandon. This was however many years ago, and he has said that whatever. But we're still gonna make fun of it, like. He's like, it's 1 million in this many steps, and so they teleport, and then I love that like he brings the army with him, but Galadon
no, he doesn't.
He
goes by himself.
After Galadon is like, oh no, we made sure to call ahead to make sure that you made it safely so that we wouldn't all die because we're not dumb as fuck like you are. But they show up, they beat the Fjordals, and
And then Hrathen shows up because Dilof is magic immune, and so he attacks back. Or no, so Dilof is about to attack, and then Hrathen shows up and he's still alive, and he reveals that he also has a Dark Orb magic arm.
Which Dilof
didn't know?
Dilof should know about because
even though
he
he's
was
the
the
Dakor monastery head?
The monastery when that happened.
So like, did Hrathen give himself?
No idea. No idea what happens here. It doesn't matter. Hrathen dies, kind of, but then doesn't die because he comes back later to save their life in a moment of, I don't even know, of like someone possessing his body, maybe? like, he should be dead, and he's not dead. He is not yet dead. That man is he is not yet dead.
So anyway, Raoden is like, let's get married. And they get married. And during the wedding, Raoden is fully thinking about the sequel to the book and not thinking about the fact that he's in the middle of getting married.
He's already plotting the sequel.
Like, he's literally like, they're like holding hands and Omin's talking. And Raoden's like, now's a good time to think about this. So if the Fjordals have magic
like,
and they control the majority of the planet, and Serene's like, hey,
getting married.
We're getting married.
Hello.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah. I'm your wife.
I've been engaged 3 times, and I'm finally getting married.
I need a wedding.
Be here with me.
Carry on. Dilaf is literally surprised in the text about the arm.
Why do you think Dilaf didn't know about the arm? I don't fucking know.
No, it literally says that Dilaf is, like, surprised at it. So,
I don't fucking know.
It's how Hrathen's able to get the upper hand for a minute is he uses surprised arm attack.
And then at the end of the book, to finish it all off, Serene's like, let's go fuck!
Yeah. And
let's
Smut
Corner.
Fuck! Yeah, they did Smut Corner for
Let's fuck! Epilogue. A week has passed. And, things are pretty much okay.
Yeah, they're like, no slavery.
Yeah, no slavery.
No slavery.
Slavery's bad.
Yeah.
They have a funeral for Hrathen.
Yeah.
Much deserved.
And for,
he saved the day.
Yeah, Hrathen, Karada.
Yeah.
Seolin as well. Royale, all the people that died.
Yeah. And this would have been a much better spot for Raoden to think about the sequel. But, that's fine.
The wedding is a good place.
In the middle of your wedding's a great time to be thinking about the fact that you might be invaded. And, it ends with Hrathen should not be remembered as an enemy to Erelon, but as a savior and a hero.
I don't know about that, but sure.
He literally saved the day. They would all be dead without him.
Yeah, but, like, he was perfectly fine to, like, forcefully convert them all and lie to them and, throw things into chaos and, like, sacrifice people.
I find it so fascinating that you say that he's perfectly fine with it when him not being fine with it is the reason why he turns from it on.
Oh, no. It feels like he's not fine with the fact that everybody lied to him about this whole, like, murder plot that was going to happen. Because they were like, no, we're going to try something else.
I think that you're thinking that his turn happens way later than it actually does. I think that this whole book, the reason why I really find Hrathen fascinating is this whole book is about Hrathen having a crisis of faith because he genuinely doesn't believe anymore, but he doesn't know any other culture.
But then he's like...
And I think that it is a really stark look at how hard it is to extract yourself from the culture you were raised in. And he does.
Sure, I just don't... His, like, moment where he's like, no, Shu Dareth is the only, like, logical conclusion. And I'm like, okay, but why, though?
Because it's not a perfect... I don't think that it is a clean pullout from his religion, right? But he is on a journey that he doesn't get to finish. But I really do think what I love about this book, and, like, yes, I'll make jokes about the plot doesn't really make sense, and the bad guy's, like, mustache twirly plan is mustache twirly.
Yeah.
But what I love about the book, and what I think makes it really work, is that Hrathen is a really honest look at somebody who is raised in almost Mormon-like missionary kind of church culture, who really doesn't know how he feels about his own faith. And I find it so fascinating that Brandon Sanderson wrote this and then went back to his own faith. And I would love to, like, interview him about that. But not from a judgmental point of view, but just from I am very interested in that kind of perspective, right?
Yeah.
But the idea of Hrathen as this man who truly was never presented with another point of view and, like, is really trying to understand how to be okay with the worldview that he was raised in and finding that he's not is fascinating to me. And I think he's an excellent character. I think he's the best part of this whole book. I think he's the reason why it's all worth it.
Yeah, I get that, and I like how, he doesn't really get, like, closure in a way. Like, it's very kind of messy and open-ended. I just the thing that I don't really understand is how he can be like, Shu Dareth is the only logical religion, and yet the leaders of the religion are the worst. Like, I don't know how you can justify that logically they're the ones that lead it then.
But there are Catholics who stayed with the church after the whole, like, pedophile scandal.
Yeah, they're terrible people.
I don't think that they're terrible people for sticking with their religion through that all. I think the people who are pedophiles are terrible people. I think that if you still believe in Catholicism after that happened, I don't think you're a bad person.
No, it's the people that defend it. That are like, no, it's fine. It's like part of
Oh, the people who all tied the pedophiles. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
those people are terrible. 100%. But no, my point is that like the people who are still go to mass every Sunday, but hate the fact that there were priests within their order that were pedophiles. I don't think those people are bad people for still believing in something that.
I just do not understand how you could be told
That's
your
fair.
whole
I
life
get
that
but
like,
you also don't have faith, so
you're right. I don't, which is I think why this book like doesn't land in that way for me, because like I literally cannot fathom like being a part of like a religion that is then like all of these fucking horrible things come out of that you cannot hand wave away, like they are like proven, and still go back to that faith that oh my god, what's the word for it, not that like structure, that like whatever it is, it just so hard to disconnect for me.
I understand that, and I think that like, you know, like my biggest issues with the Catholic faith were before I even knew that, right? Where I was like, you guys preach this like being so giving, but your Pope lives in a city of gold. Like what how can you possibly say that you are like following Jesus's teachings when the Vatican, like the first thing Jesus would do if he came back again, like biblical Jesus, is that he would rip the Vatican apart. Well, it is the temple that he tears down, right?
It's because somebody somewhere in the past along the line was like really fucking greedy and was like, oh yeah, gold makes you closer to God, and people were just like, yeah, what that guy says.
Yeah, it's unfortunate,
but they're like, no, it's part of a religion because some guy said it.
But it's the same problem I have with Mormonism, right? Like my problem with Mormonism isn't what they believe. I don't care what they believe. My problem with Mormonism as a church is that they hoard an immense wealth, right? They have like, I think it's like $80 billion or something in a bank account that they do not use to benefit people.
They got to build
and at the same time they are spending their money lobbying for like anti-gay bills. Yeah. And so it is, you know, we're covering Brandon Sanderson right now and we're like kind of enjoying his writing. This is obviously Mistborn more than this. Yeah. But at the same time, I still do feel weird about the fact that like he tithes to a church. It's almost $200 billion. Like the fact that the Mormon church is sitting on $200 billion and they're not ending homelessness and they're not ending world hunger and they're not doing the things that they should be doing.
Point of the religion.
Yeah. That's what Jesus wants you to do, right? Yeah. But none of these churches are doing what Jesus wanted them to do. They're just buying private jets and sending their 18-year-olds around the world to tell fucking Africans that their lives will be better in their afterlife if they convert to Mormonism, with no practical help in their life right now, even though the Mormon church can absolutely afford to help their lives right now. Yeah. Right? Like, why is Mr. Beast building wells in Africa and the Mormon church isn't? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the disconnect really comes for me. Yeah. Like, you have YouTube charity people like Mr. Beast who are doing more with their wealth than just sitting on it and hoping that one day, I don't know, that Jesus is going to come down and be like, I love the Mormons because they hoarded the most money that they weren't doing any good with. And that's kind of where my issue with all of these churches is. It's not specifically Mormonism. Mormonism is coming up because of this, of the, you know.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of them.
I also feel the same way about Catholicism. I also feel the same way about all of the mega churches in the South that are just so wasteful. I feel the same way about any church that says that it is for the good of all and hoards wealth and does not spend that to benefit others, right? Yeah. Even if they don't believe the same thing that you do.
Yeah. Like, churches work to me in the exact opposite way, where, you know, like, people, like, tithe to the church or whatever it is. Yeah. Like, it feels like it should be the opposite to me, because churches don't, like, pay taxes, that the money that they don't pay should be distributed amongst their, like, people. It just, I literally, like, don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. And, like, it's the thing that, like, it's since I was a child, it has been the thing that has been stuck in my craw about it. Mm-hmm. And that I've never, a religious person has never been able to justify the Vatican to me. And because I really don't think that you can. And, like, even, like, Catholic, when I was in Catholic high school, like, my Mother Superior was like, well, it just kind of is the way that it is. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like, that isn't a good enough excuse for the way in which, anyway, this has nothing to do with Elantris. We've gotten a little political today, but
like, I think that it
Arzu, thank you for those membos over on YouTube.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
that.
much.
It kind of does.
Y'all, we hit 60K.
All right, I have an essay I gotta read. You start high low. I'm gonna go get the book.
Arzu, thank you so much. So we are going to do high-low, which if you don't know, if this is your first book club, wow, I'm so sorry. This was utterly unhinged. We talk about our highs and our lows of the book or whatever we're talking about. And I do high, Nerdy does low, I do low, he does high, so that we complement Sandwich this beach, so that we can all just enjoy this experience as human beings together. Chat looked too gray. Guys, chat needs to be glowing green Elantrians and not shaded gray. So essay time. I'm gonna do my high, which I believe
Linus, thank you for 10 membos.
Linus, thank you so much.
There's some green in this chat.
Holy shit. It's gonna be all green. It's not some green. It is all green in this chat.
Oh, it's literally just 2 pages.
Did you not read the Arcanum? Isn't that what we're reading next week?
No, that's the
Isn't that
that's the thing at the end of the book that like explains the magic, I think.
The postscript with Hoyd?
No. There's always like in all the books there's like a Ars Arcanum that it lists like the aeons and stuff.
Oh no, I didn't read that.
I've never read that. Gordon Chet, thank you for gifting 10 membos.
Oh my god, guys!
Why don't we get hype trains on YouTube? We would be on a fucking hype train right now.
Of
Thank
trains.
you.
Holy
There's some
shit.
green in this chat. There's some green in this chat. There's some
Make it
green
red.
in this chat.
Gordon, thank you so much. Holy
Thank you.
shit.
That is far too
60k
kind.
subs. Let's fucking go.
60k. Proud of us.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to all of you.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
What was your high?
I don't know. It's weird because like I don't really feel like I had a specific high moment. I liked that I wanted to keep reading.
Okay.
My high I think is the momentum of like holy shit, what happens next? What fucking bonkers thing is gonna come out of nowhere? But I don't think it was like a specific moment. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. What is your low?
Magic autism.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
That's fair.
There's a lot of nonsense in this book, but that was the one that I like actively rolled my eyes at.
Yeah, Milo was kind of like that and like the magic yoga.
The magic yoga was fun though. Magic autism,
fun.
as an autistic person who just kind of struggles, you know, like I've never seen I can't watch The Big Bang Theory because I just kind of like it frustrates me.
Yeah.
I can't watch. I've never seen The Good Doctor because I'm like this isn't my experience at all, and it's not the experience of any autistic person I've ever met. It's just sort of like it almost feels like I'm being made fun of.
Yeah.
Because but it's being held up as like, oh, but they're so good at this, so it's not mocking,
offensive. Yeah,
but it feels mocking in a way, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Yep, I feel ya. You're high.
No, you're low.
Yeah, I said like the magic fucking yoga.
Oh, that was
autism
your
stuff.
low.
Yeah.
Okay, then my high is
Actually, no, I'm changing that. My low, it's not in this section, but I thought it would be answered in this section. My low is why the fuck did I end up like let Sereni into the city that his son was in?
What?
Never answered that. I literally thought when Sereni was like, I want to go into Elantris. That the king,
why Iodon? Yeah,
the
let him
king
in.
would be like, absolutely not under any fucking circumstances because the heir to the throne is in there. And we lied and said that he died. I thought that would be explained and it wasn't. So that's my low. That will forever be my low. What is your high?
James Ross is right. Abed is from Community will always be my favorite depiction, but only because it's comedy. No, Abed feels like me. Like Abed, I'm not joking. Abed, I love Abed in Community because he feels. It took me a few episodes to realize that other people viewed him as having autism because I was like, oh, I get Abed. He feels like me.
Right, yeah.
In a way that is hard to explain.
Yeah.
And it's why Community is one of my favorite shows ever, is because of the portrayal of Abed, and I think Danny Pudi fucking crushed it. Personally. And I get that other autistic people might not feel the same way, but for my brand of the Audie...
For my brand.
For my Tiz Riz to his Tiz Riz, it felt like we were in sync in a way that I really, really love.
All right, y'all. This hype train is about to leave
Oh,
the
my high.
station.
My high for the book is
Yep. I thought you were...
Oh, what is my book? My favorite part of the book. It's tough. There's some really great stuff in here.
Of this section.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of this section. What is my favorite? That's tough. I think that I really... There's some really good shit. It's gotta be Hrathen. The first Hrathen turn when he is like no Delof and he saves Sereni. That's the best moment of the book for me. That's it. That's the moment because that's the moment where the book starts to turn towards the positive again, and it's all on this man's. It's all on this man's one decision to turn against his faith. I think that's an awesome moment, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hrathen turn against Delof. The Celish system, Suli. Central to this system is the planet of Cel, Suli, home to multiple empires that, uniquely, have remained somewhat ignorant of one another, Suli. It is a willful kind of ignorance, with each of the 3 great domains pretending that the others were mere blips on the map, Suli, barely worth notice. Wait for Claris? Okay, fine. How's everybody doing? Do we know what the next book is going to be? Are we doing standalone? I think we're doing Emperor's Soul and then Warbreaker. He's just adding Suli. I'm doing the voice. What do you mean? Colo, that's the other one. I'll add some Colos in as well. I'll drop a couple of Colos. Don't worry about it. Clarus, come on. What are you doing? How much pee could you fit inside you? You're so small. Oh my god.
Sorry. Wow, it's fucking hot in here.
It's so hot in here.
Shit, I'm so glad we turned the heat off.
I know.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Celish system, Suli. Central to this system is the planet of Cel, Suli, home to multiple empires that uniquely have remained somewhat ignorant of one another, Colo. It is a willful kind of ignorance, with each of the 3 great domains pretending that the others are mere blips on the map, barely worth notice, Suli. The planet itself facilitates this, as it is larger than most, with its size at around 1.5 Cosmere standard, Suli, and gravity at 1.2 Cosmere standard, Colo.
What?
Vast continents and sweeping oceans create a diverse landscape, with an extreme amount of variation on this one planet, Suli. Here you will find both snow-covered plains and expansive deserts, a fact I would have found remarkable upon my first visit, had I not by then discovered that this was a natural state of many planets in the Cosmere, Colo. Cel is notable for being what the fuck is that word?
Dishardic. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Cel is noticeable for being dishardic, one of the few planets in the Cosmere to attract 2 separate shards of Adenalcium, Suli. Dominion and devotion. I am losing it. These shards were extremely influential in the development of human societies on the planet, and most of their traditions and religions can be traced back to these 2. Uniquely, the very languages and alphabets used today across the planet were directly influenced by the 2 shards, Colo. I believe that early on, the shards took an unconcerned approach to humankind, and society was shaped by a slow, steady discovery of the powers that permeated the landscape, Suli. This is difficult to determine for certain now, however, and as at some point in the distant past, both devotion and dominion were destroyed. Wait, is this balance or preservation? Is this just like the? I'm confused. Their investiture, their power was splintered. Their minds ripped away, their souls sent into the beyond.
Into the unknown!
So it's like preservation and ruin?
Kind of?
I am uncertain whether their power was left to ravage the world untamed for a time, or was immediately contained. Oh, so this is just Mistborn. This all happened during the days of human prehistory on Cel, Suli. At this point, the bulk of the investiture that made up the powers of dominion and devotion is trapped on the cognitive realm. Collectively, these powers, which have a polarized relationship, are called the door. Colo? No, I do not colo.
No.
Forced together as they are, trapped and bursting to escape, they power the various forms of magic on Cell, which are multitude. Because the cognitive realm has distinctive locations, unlike the spiritual realm where most forms of investiture reside, magic on Cell is very dependent upon physical position. In addition, the rules of perception and intent are greatly magnified on Cell, Suli, to the point that language or similar functions directly shapes the magic as it is pulled from the cognitive realm and put to use. Colo? Shin, thank you for 5 gifted subs.
Shin, thank you so much.
Fuck, this makes no sense. This overlap between language, location, and magic on the planet has become so integral to the system that subtle changes in one can have profound effects on how the door is accessed. Indeed, I believe that the very landscape itself has become invested to the point that it has a growing self-awareness in a way unseen on other planets in the Cosmere, Suli. I do not know how this happened or what the ramifications will be, Colo. I've begun to wonder if something greater is happening on Cell than we, at the universities of Silverlight, have guessed, Suli.
What?
Something with origins lost in time. Perhaps the Ire knew more, but they are not speaking on the topic and have repeatedly denied my requests for collaboration, Colo. Brief mention should be given to the entities known as the Scions and the Skays, splinters of self-aware investiture who have developed human-like mannerisms. I believe there is a link between them and the puzzle of Cell's nature, Suli. The rest of the system is of little relevance, though there are a number of other planets. Only one exists in a habitable zone, if barely. It is barren, inhospitable, and prone to terrible dust storms. Its proximity to the sun,
Dune!
Masha, makes
It's always Dune!
uncomfortably warm, Suli. Even for one who has spent a good portion of her life on the day side of Taldane. Colo. The fuck?
I forgot that it wasn't Galadon reading this for a second, and I was like, how the fuck?
That's what reading that feels like. You've been duned! You've
I
doomed.
don't get it.
Lisan al-Gaib as it is written. Ah!
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we have preservation, ruin, devotion, and dominion. So devotion is the power of Aeons, and dominion is the power of Fjordal. That makes sense.
Sure. Linus, thank you for that super chat. Judah as well, thank you for that super chat. I don't get it.
So the Scions are from devotion, and the Skays, which are they're from dominion?
Who knows what that means?
And so shards are where magic comes from. So I'm assuming that Shardic means 2 shards. So Mistborn is on Scadrial, which is also Shardic.
What is a shard?
The shard is the magic power that... So in this world, devotion is a shard and dominion is a shard. And so there are 2 powers in this world. And so that means that Scadrial must also be Shardic because ruin and preservation are shards that provide power to the magic of that world.
Except they're not anymore because...
But the shards are also dead here, right?
No, but I just mean that,
I just said that.
He took both of them into himself.
No, but the shards are still... Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Once the shards...
I needed to read this without all the fucking Colo shit in it.
You can do that off. Let's finish the show and then you can do that.
What the fuck?
All right. That was fun. Judah, thank you for that super chat. There's a YouTuber named RAFO who breaks down the connected magic systems in a simple way if you need help digesting it. It gets complicated. I feel like there's going to be spoilers in that, so we'll probably not yet, but maybe one day when we've read more of the Cosmere. Once we've met the characters of the rest of this bullshit. That was fun.
Yeah. I could not. I need the words in front of my eyeballs. I did not take in a single thing that you said.
That's fair.
I'm so sorry.
Who doesn't listen to who now, woman? Who doesn't listen to who now?
That's why I don't often do audiobooks for the first reads. I need to see, because I can't picture those words in my brain.
All right, guys.
Adonalsium.
If you like this podcast, subscribe to the channel, or go over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us 5-star ratings. I worked really hard to be funny this episode. Please give us a 5-star review for that.
Yeah.
I left the room. I got on the floor. I did a lot of shit for that 5-star review.
5 stars for the spit take that didn't happen.
The spit take that didn't happen. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Clars Polaris.
As always, do something nerdy tonight and get the fuck out if you don't want to listen to Smut Corner. Smut Corner, Canada. Why fuck a doc or anywhere else?
I don't know. Shudera feels like the kind of religion where you're not allowed to have sex. I'm not gonna lie. What postscript? What is that?
We kind of talked about it in the middle. We already talked about Hoyd. It's magic.
Hoyd
teleportation.
Is
we talked about it.
Obviously, the dark thingy, Sion, is the
Hoyd
other
penetrated
thingy.
the planet with his body.
Yeah.
Smut Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pool is just God's vagina.
I'm not gonna lie.
And Hoyd got all up in there.
When I read this, I was like, oh, it's just a common name because Mare is also must be a common name. And then y'all made a big deal out of it, so.
Yeah. Where would you add sex to this? I don't know that there's a lot of places to.
Well, I mean, hopefully Serena gets like a good wedding night.
Serena gets fucked missionary for like 12 seconds. No, Raoden's not a virgin. I have a hard time believing that Raoden's a virgin.
He's just too nice.
Yeah, everybody loves him. Raoden got some sloppy toppy in high school, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like too charismatic.
Oh, Shuden and Teleran Riyadh. Shuden uses his magic yoga to lay the fucking dick down on Teleran Riyadh.
Oh my god. I can't picture her actual name.
Oh my god, Shuden is doing fucking magic yoga dicking all over Teleran Riyadh.
With his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a problem later in the relationship. She's going to be like, why won't you look at me?
Shuden's magic yoga is this world's version of Tantra, and he fucks her for like 12 hours. Yeah. And she's like, wakes up the next day like in a fugue state from what he does to her body.
They have to like schedule days off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that like they can get it off.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's the end of it. Is magic yoga sex to dick down.
Hurts. How do you think the Sions fuck?
They don't.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye, guys. Thank you, mods. And thank you, Arzu, for commissioning that audiobook reaction.
Yes.
I think we're doing an audiobook reaction this week, maybe. I don't know. We'll tell you later.
Thank you so much for all of the gifted subs and crazy
seriously.
super chats. That was...
Seriously.
Wow.
60K, babe.
60K.
Booktube. Oh, and read Emperor's Soul by next week. Bye.
Yeah, bye.